Alright guys, we are live. I'm joined by Jatin here, who I'm just going to patch in his video right now, but please bear with us, we'll start in about 2 minutes. I'm just going to do a quick sound check. I am Kron and with me is Jatin, and we are about to cast the EL versus the World live show match games of Nomad, which will be 3v3 and possibly 4v4. So Jatin, how are you doing today?
I am good, and thanks everybody for joining today. This is going to be not a tournament game, but I guess we just have the same excitement as a tournament game. It's still a best of 7.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is really, after Nomadium, I think everyone wants to see what will happen if, EL come up against the best players in the world. And I'm pretty excited to see this. I mean, we need kind of a void to fill this gap. Everyone's kind of missing the tournament action, and I think this is a great way to do it. Do you know much about the players that we'll be seeing in this particular game?
I have no idea. I know that Surge tried to assemble a group of mercenaries to take on EL and maybe take revenge, but it did not work out. I don't know. It did not work out with all the players. Like, not everybody could join. So that's what I know. I know that the initial matchup was supposed to be Mouse from PLA and the best player from AZ as well, Young One. But I'm just not sure if everybody from those teams did show up, because I got a message from Mouse that he said, "Oh, it's going to be very late. I won't be able to play." But I'm still expecting the best of other clans. So yeah, because as we saw in Forwali, the games were very close, and at one point, Surge did have to go and help the other side, and maybe he had something that he wanted to fix that, basically.
Yeah.
Maybe another chance to relive the finals and have a different outcome.
Yeah, I felt like it was so funny, watching from a spectator's point of view and seeing what happened with the Four Valley versus EL kind of grand finals, because it was so hyped up. It was a great best of 7 series, but I mean, while we were live casting, the players had just finished and they were starting to join the chat, and it was frustrating from a caster's point of view because we didn't want to spoil the result, but at the same time, we obviously understood that everyone was, emotions were high. This is the grand final of a massive tournament, the first ever Nomadium. But I could tell that, it seemed like of all the players, the one player that was crushed the most was probably Surge, because you could see that in just the language of Surge's chat after the game, that he'd really given it his all, and ultimately, played his heart out, and for whatever reason, it just didn't work out for the Four Valley guys. So as you said, I think, of all the players, I think Surge is definitely one of them who really has, a bit of redemption on his mind. That ability to try and knock EL off their perch. Sure, it's not the grand final, but still, I'm sure that would give him some satisfaction.
Definitely. And yeah, we've got a best of 7 ahead. So are you ready to start?
I am indeed. So I think without further ado, let's load up that first replay. And thanks everyone for joining us here on my channel, as opposed to the normal Browser Patience. We're just trying something out a little bit differently here, but it should be pretty much the same result. So I'm just going to load up that replay now and pause it at the 0-second mark.
All right, I'll be there right now. I'm just making sure everybody knows. Did you tell people on the WhatsApp group?
I haven't messaged anyone on WhatsApp yet, so
I'll do it. So I just messaged it. I'll also post it on my Discord.
Yeah, perfect. I'll just quickly message as well. So bear with us, guys. 1 second. If everyone who's watching right now, if you can just quickly spam whoever's in your Steam friends list, if you think they're interested in watching, that'd be much appreciated.
And yeah, let's begin. Let's get right into it. I am opening the first replay. And just making sure your game window screen does not have our video. That's intended, right?
Do you mean the webcam video, or?
Yeah. We don't. Our stream does not have the videos on.
Yeah, it's just at the bottom right hand side.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, have a quick look.
So, okay, I can't see it. Oh wait, I see what's happening. Okay, I'm still on the screen share with you on Skype, so can you close that?
Ah, yeah, yeah, sure, sure.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah, never mind. So I think, yeah, I for some reason the stream is not opening for me. Just make sure everybody else is fine.
Yeah, no, you look good. You look good. So we'll just make sure that if anyone who's watching right now, just let us know if something doesn't sound right or if the video's not working properly. But yeah, I think for the most part we've got no issue here.
All right. So I'm sorry. I actually went on and played the game. I am at 50 seconds time point. So
Okay.
can you catch it to me?
Yeah, yeah, no worries. Okay, so okay, let's go. So we'll start the 0 second mark. We'll just talk for the first 50 seconds, and I'll let you know once we get there. All right, guys,
Oh,
we're gonna get started. Let's go. So 0 seconds. All right, here we go. This is the first match of EL versus the world. They are taking on the world, Jitin. They are taking on the world.
they
But
are.
the problem is the world's got such a big population. You know, how many billion people? Who's going to represent the world here? Well, we have 3 lucky players. I don't know how this was decided. It might have been a democratic ballot, or it might have just been completely, you know, God just flew down from the heavens and chose these 3 players. But we've got Surge IM, who we've talked about. Surge is lining up as the first player here. We've got Cold Fire. I believe Cold Fire is the correct way to say it, also known as
Yes,
Cold
I guess so.
Cold Fiver. And then the final player is the Saudi Arabian sensation King. So
Oh, I never knew that that was that he was Saudi Arabian. I almost knew that he is from the Middle East. But yeah, nice to see somebody from Saudi. I don't think we have a lot of players from that country.
yeah, so I believe King is from Saudi Arabia, but yeah, he's probably the best Saudi Arabian player. And that's not to say anything necessarily good or bad because I don't know any other Saudi Arabian players that play Ron. But King is always known as a very good player in the Ron community. I haven't seen him play as much actively recently, but he's good at both Nomad and good at Standard too. So it's going to be exciting to see what this team can do here.
Oh yeah, for sure. And yes, something to point out here. If you look, I have not seen L and the boy for a long time, and actually, I don't think he was in the EL roster for the Nomadium tournament.
Yeah, I agree. I think we didn't see him play at all, even though he was on the roster that he was eligible to play. So I'm not sure what the reasoning for that was. Maybe just he wasn't. You know, they had too many players on the roster, and sometimes too many cooks can spoil the broth. But I mean, he's a really good player too. I've played quite a few Nomad games with him lately, and he always puts in a really, really good performance. So I think he's probably at least on par with the caliber of players such as probably up there with iRush with Dutch and with Steez as a solid option on their roster.
Yep. So yeah, again, as long as he's in the form, I know he used to be a great player in his prime. Just not sure if he's still as good. But yeah, we're going to find out that very soon. And also, so this concept of assembling the best players, I would say Coldfire is easily our top player. Coldfire used to be an int player long back, and he was the best at that time in GameSpy. When I had just joined Rise of Nations, he used to be one of the tops. Actually, even the top player right there. And King, of course, King is actually an all-rounder. He's a great standard and nomader. And same with the Surge. We have seen Surge playing in the tournament, so he needs no introduction. The only thing that I am concerned about, so if anybody in the chat follows cricket, let me tell you that Australia is, I don't know if it's now, but it used to be one of the top teams in cricket, or actually the top team in cricket. So yeah, kudos to Kron for that.
Absolutely. I mean, the Aussies are the best at everything, cricket included. I actually didn't really know that they were doing so well, so that's good to hear.
Yeah. So at one point they were so unbeatable, Aussies, that there was a World 11 team, a team of top 11 players from around the world except Australia, and they went on against Australia. So World 11 versus Australia. And you would assume that, oh, all the best players from around the world, of course, they will beat Australia. But guess what? They did not. And Australia actually ended up beating the World 11. So the whole point I'm trying to make here is that even if you can get the best players, it's something about team play and coordination that you cannot teach them overnight or in a few months. And that's what might be you might be seeing here, because we have seen Dangerous Dave and Boo have a solid coordination in the throughout the tournament. So can Coldfire King and Surge, who just got assembled for this game, can they match that coordination? That's going to be the big question here.
Well, I think it's a massive question and something that they're going to try and answer as quickly as they can. Because, I mean, this is lining up to be a pretty fascinating matchup here. Because you've got a couple of, somewhat OP nations in the sense that King's got Lakota at the top of the map, but he's lined up kind of in a straight way against Turkish with Boo on the very far right hand side. And I mean, Boo's quite far away when you compare it to where the guys from the world 3, I guess, are based. But I mean, once they get closer, Lakota likes to build nice and close, but that could actually turn out to backfire here, because depending on how it goes here, if King does decide to build his city too close to Turkish, that could be presenting the Turkish player with a bit of a gift, in the sense that it's a free third city for him.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, and looks like I'm just making sure I'm at the 5 minute time point.
Yeah, so yeah, you're pretty much dead on. I'm at 4 minutes 55, and
Okay.
you're doing a great job with the syncing here.
All right. So yeah, I guess King just started building his city, and that's very close to Boo. As you said, it might not be the best idea. Although if you look at his city placement, he's got this river running right in front of him, between him and Boo. So that could buy some time. But again, you know what Turkish can do. That Turk militia rush is almost unbeatable. Maybe Lakota is one nation that can beat it with their faster start, but with any other civilization, it could be a very bad idea to build so close.
Oh, exactly. And I mean, you look from Boo's point of view, it looks like he's just identified that Lakota's built there, but he doesn't really know about it yet, because he is sending a merchant that's going right past that city by the looks of it. And
Oh, yeah.
he's going to find out now that he has seen the city. And I mean, I wonder if that will change his strategy, because he's already gone for the Civic too. If he had seen that city there, perhaps he would have gone for military before Civic, but now it's a question of how close he can get his city to perhaps build those siege workshops nice and close and put early pressure on Lakota here.
Oh yeah, definitely. And also I mean, Boo can receive some help from EL and the boy, so that could also help in this case. Now, something I wanted to point out here is Dave just commented that L and the boy is actually Mad Dogs, and Mad Dog was in the roster. So this is actually the EL team. One of the so Mad Dog has never played in any other tournament games. It's actually interesting to see him play right here.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we haven't seen him play in the tournament, but I mean, I have, as I said before, I have seen him play recently in Nomad games, like over the last few weeks, and he doesn't appear to be rusty at all. He's a great boomer. He plays quite safe, I guess. Quite safe and standard. Not too crazy, which is probably what you want in a team when you're trying to just get the job done, as opposed to doing some kind of crazy strategy here.
Oh yeah, that's right. If you have somebody who you can count on, and it also tells you that how diverse L's roster was always. They have had all the combinations possible, and finally we get to see Mad Dog as well. What a day to be to be watching this.
Oh, seriously, this is awesome. And you can see in the chat, I mean, Boo's pretty much telling us what his thoughts are right now in this game. He's saying, let's rush this Lakota city. I'm Turks. I've got furs and cotton. Obviously, furs being much cheaper military. You can get that military 2 before you get to age 2, which means you can just pump out those siege weapons pretty much on the 11-minute mark, which is incredibly early to be applying that pressure. And yeah, with cotton's obviously going to speed that up even further. It's like a turbocharged rush, because you've got the faster mill and you've got the faster units coming out. So, normally if this was any other nation besides Lakota, I'd say, honestly, King's going to be in a really, really bad spot here. But King is going for a raid, so if this raid with the hoplite can slow Boo down a bit perhaps, that might buy him some more time, and the fact that he's Lakota gives him such an advantage from an economic side anyway. So he's going to need some help though, because if Mad Dog does come up here, if Ian the boy, Blue, does kind of help with that Turk rush, he's going to need help from Surge, or else that city is going down.
Oh yeah, for sure. And although if you look at it, here Serge is building his city near Persepolis, which is closer to Orange, and his, I mean his barracks just got stopped by Mad Dog. So wow, that's amazing for the EL team at least.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I mean, did a great job there with that raid, and yeah, you can see that Surge is under pressure here. I mean, Surge is in a tough spot here, just in the early game. That's going to put him behind a bit because whenever you start building a barracks and it gets found by heavy infantry like that, that's a huge investment you've made for really no return. But it
Oh yeah.
looks like Mad Dog's moving away for no apparent reason. Oh, because Surge is building two barracks at the same time.
Oh yeah. And that's actually I've seen a lot of players do. Probably yeah, Mad Dog knows that's happening, and I don't know what he's trying to do, but yeah, that was a pretty weird idea to, uh, I mean to get your hoplites destroying a barracks and suddenly return after that. I don't know why he would do that.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't make a lot of sense, but at the same time, at least he is moving those hoplites out of there before they die, and I think that's probably the most underrated thing in Ron is saving your units, especially those early raiding units. Often, a lot of players, and myself included, is when I raid units, you just raid, sacrifice, lose them, and then, who cares if they die? But if you can save those troops and get them back and actually add them to your army later on, suddenly you've got an army of 8 units instead of 6. That can be a huge factor, and Ron's all about accumulating your army, getting this big kind of death wall going, and I feel like the best players just don't lose units cheaply.
Oh yeah, for sure. And yeah, if you look at here, I'm sure we are in sync. Boo is just building a tower. He's gonna complete that very soon, and he's also going for science. So what are your thoughts on that? I know that if you want to go for a fast military attack, I don't think science is the best thing you should be doing.
Yeah, and as we hit the 10-minute and 5-second mark, yeah, I think, as you said, I think it is definitely a more conservative build that Boo's opted for here. That's not to say it's a bad build, it's more of a long-term view. I know that if this was a player like, for example, AZ Demon King, he'd already have siege weapons probably starting to get built right now, especially when you've got that furs. And I must admit, if I was playing in Boo's position here, I probably would have gone for the military 2 before age 2, just to put pressure on with those siege workshops. But I mean, Boo might have some other plans here, and who am I to question the great Boo when it comes to these decisions? So I'm sure there's definitely a reason behind this, and I'm sure Boo has a plan here.
Yeah, mere mortals cannot question Boo. And something interesting going on. Look here. If, I don't. I'm sure Boo does not know that. If you look at Istanbul, his capital, there's this farm next to the market which has 2 villagers working on it. That's the best form of avoiding work and just pretending to be working when you're not. Do you see that?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, wow. That's that must be the Irish farms. I mean, are they farming potatoes or is that wheat? I'm not sure, but
whatever they're planting, they sure do not need 2 people there. But that's good. That's good. That's again reminds me of the people I used to do group projects with.
oh, it's like when your supervisor comes and we better look busy. All right, let's get to work.
Oh yeah.
Looks a bit sus though. It looks like. To be honest, it looks like King will get off a little bit light here. I mean, if you look at the placement of King's buildings here, he's built quite close to Boo, who's Turkish. But I mean, with that stable, with that university, even the temple, it's going to be so easy for Boo to just clear them up and basically just take them all out from a distance without even having to break a sweat. You can see that Boo is scouting that city now, and he can probably, now he can see everything that's there. And Serge just said in the chat, actually, he said, Boo's going to militia rush your city, bro. So maybe Boo's playing a bit of, poker here in the sense that he knows that they're probably going to think he's going to rush it. So therefore, instead of rushing, he's going to sit back and maybe boom. I'm not sure.
Yep, that's possibly what he's doing. But to be honest, if you look here, assuming that Boo had militia rushed him, just look here. King has no support. He's just getting a tower, so he probably also did not have militia back then. So this is just an easy. Actually, yeah, he does have a tower, but he still did not have militia there. So I think Boo could have easily taken this city out, no doubt. if he had gone for militia rush just with some help from EL or Mad Dog.
Yeah, I agree. And who knows? Maybe for the EL guys, they're getting pretty confident. Maybe it was a case of, hey, that would be too easy, man. I want to play. I want to challenge myself. I mean, that would just be a free win if he was to do that. Or maybe he's going for another kind of idea. But you can see that Mad Dog's sending his troops down
Oh,
the too.
yep, Mad Dog is here.
And there's an ambush by the looks of it. So this ambush might take Light Blue by surprise.
Oh yeah, and look at that. I mean, Boo's siege are just in the right spot to not have to cross the river, and they can already start taking down the stable. This is so convenient for Boo.
Yeah, nice take out of that siege weapon at the front there. The catapult just got basically sniped by that light cavalry. And it does look like Dave is bringing across his entire army as well here. Are we going to see a triple on this city of Siton one?
Siston one, yes, first triple from the EL team. This is going to be amazing. And yeah, just looking at, I think Surge went for an ambush, and he discovered the army. So he says Cold, go for a push, and this could change everything. Although just to remember, Dave is Maya. Maya is tough to kill. So yeah, even if Cold presses there, I don't think he can do much just by himself.
Yeah, nice ambush there as well by Surge. He actually walked straight up to those troops and basically touched them on the nose, and then walked away because there were just too many there. So it was probably a good decision there not to engage, because that would have been too many troops around him. But they do seem to know that there's at least 3 armies coming their way, and I mean, for Orange right now, for Coldfire, he's known as a boomer. I wonder if he's going to be able to put any pressure on his side, because he's kind of caught out of position here.
Oh yeah, he is. He just has a single. He has a single catapult, so he can't do anything much here. To be honest, I feel that if it was a 2 versus 2, Surge and King might have survived this. They probably would have survived this. This is. I mean, they were fighting 3 armies, and they still did not let them take the city so easily. So I guess with the 2 versus 2. Oh yeah, look at that. They're still keeping the city. So.
Yeah, I mean, we're at the 14-minute, 45-second mark, and the city is still kept up. It looks like that militia pool is doing really well. Oh, and the city does go down there, so finally just too many troops, and Boo has brought all of his militia too, so they're both investing heavily in this. I mean... They are. Like, it looks like Boo will be able to take out the tower and probably take out the unit-producing structures like the barracks and the stable here. But it's a pretty good defense here, 2v3.
Yeah, that's right. And I mean, look at that villager who was working overtime on that farm. Now suddenly she has to fight instead of trying to avoid work. What a day to be her.
Wow. Yeah, no, I mean, Dave said in the chat that that's a common bug where 2 villagers, 2 citizens can work on the same farm, but you don't get any double food. It's not like that the rare hack that you can do. It just sits there and looks good, but you don't actually get any benefit. So it looks like the other thing too. I like the move by Dave here, because Dave recognised that he's playing as Maya or Maya, however you pronounce it, and Maya being such a great defensive nation, they shoot the arrows naturally. Their cities are so hard to reduce that it's a great opportunity to basically build a tower and leave Coldfire completely out of position and basically apply pressure on the other side of the map, causing an imbalance on the right hand side here.
And yes, something to point out again, Coldfire should already have at least 2 sieges, so this did not work out well. I mean, Surge pointed out that Dave is here, so I would assume Coldfire should have multiple sieges at least. And yeah, Dave has even got attrition now, so there is no way Coldfire is going to take him out until H3. That was a brilliant move. Being Maya, he's using it perfectly.
Yeah, great move there. He's got militia ready, he's got attrition, and I mean, every second these guys spend in the territory now, they're losing HP. And I mean, Coldfire, he knows this as well, so he's retreated back, and he's actually taking the siege back as well. So he's not going to be able to take that city anytime soon.
Oh yeah, for sure. And if you look at the Lakota players, Eco, he is not doing well. Surge is going to be fending off by himself for a while now.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, if you look at Lakota, I mean, for Lakota to lose the front city like that, such a huge investment he made in the city, the temple, the stable, the barracks, and the university, as well as the market. That's so much wood that he's invested. I mean, just losing that and not being able to take it back anytime soon, Lakota's got a big hole to kind of come back out of. And, you know, if this game continues at the current trajectory, I foresee the future does not look good for Surge because essentially Lakota's been kneecapped, and these guys will eventually be able to 2v1 their way into this city here.
That's for sure. That is another thing I would say. Maybe if you're against Turks, I would not suggest building the city in front. I mean, building not building the city. I mean, building the stables and the barracks. Maybe they should go behind the city, so they don't get sieged initially, like how they did in this game. Just an opinion, though.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, us mere mortals can have opinions as well, so as long as we're not judging Boo, I think it's fine. So, no, I agree though. I think it is always tricky when you're playing against Turks, but I feel like when you're playing against Turks, you really have to either play super aggressively and try and just get lots of light horse, snipe their siege weapons if they might micro them out of position, or alternatively just build all your buildings as far back as possible. Don't build your front city close, and just play the long game and try and get a better army so you can engage them head on. Because playing against Turks in the early game it's hard for even the best players.
Oh yeah, like I mean, Turks have the power of that surprise attack. They can surprise attack whenever they want with that instant siege. So the only way to beat them is either have a bigger army or just outboom them and have be an age advance against them. So yeah, to be honest, the Turks are actually hard to beat. And if in my opinion, the World 3 team is on kind of not doing so well here, and it's all up to be on Coldfire right now. Looks like Coldfire is aging, but Dave's aging as well. So yeah, Coldfire will not have that advantage for a second where he is an age advance and he can try to take that city.
Yeah, exactly. You'll see that Coldfire does have the best economy here out of all the players on the map, but he does have time against him in the sense that the guys on the right hand side here, Surge will do his best, but with Boo and also with Boy here as well, they're eventually going to take apply pressure and double here, and I don't think Surge will be able to hold that for too long. I mean, Surge is doing a great job kind of just pausing them for the time being and allowing Light Blue to kind of rebuild. And Light Blue's economy has actually surprisingly bounced back quite quickly. He's already nearly back to 150 each. So that's the power of Lakota. Sometimes you spam those citizens and get your citizens out there mining or cutting down trees, and suddenly you don't really have to do too much else.
Oh yeah, you're right. And he is back, and if you look at Boo's library, he is not very close to aging. It's going to take him at least next 2 or 3 minutes before he can click up because he's low on food. So it's possible that the World 3 team can bounce back and they can take their city back, what's rightfully theirs.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they're taking out that barracks of Boo, which he'd built in the conquered city. It's not very kind of Boo to build that, but it is what it is. Oh, and Boo actually already has a castle up. I must have missed that, but that's going to make things a little bit trickier because, unfortunately for the world team here, they're not Turks, and so they can't siege that castle from a distance.
Oh yeah, they cannot. They have to get the city out of the way. If for Coldfire or yeah, I would think Coldfire, a better strategy right now would be to just go on the other side and help them, because unless you have a super army, fighting Maya is very difficult just because of all those towers and the fire from the city.
Oh, exactly. It's kind of like playing against Koreans, but not quite as frustrating, but still, it's up there. It's definitely got to be a bit annoying here for Coldfire. And I think Coldfire is the right way to say it. We can see in the chat that Coldfire did confirm that it is Coldfire, but I feel like the right way to say it is Coldfire. You have to really add some emphasis to it. It's a bit great. Maybe he can confirm.
Oh yeah. And yeah, it looked like Surge and King have taken back the city. This is amazing teamwork. Despite being tripled at one point, they are still being in the game. Actually, they have a higher score overall. So I guess They are no more on the back foot, and it just means that if Coldfire can survive on his own and beat Dave, he does have the higher score and a way higher knowledge income. So if he can do that, I guess this is going to be really good for the World 3 team here.
Yeah, the World 3 team are doing this for the world right now, and anyone in the world who's not an EL fan, I'm not sure who they're cheering for here, but it could well be the world team.
Yeah, anybody who does not like EL or who thinks that EL did not deserve to win this, yeah, this is the team you want to cheer for.
Yeah, I think all
or you're just the kind of player who always cheers for the underdogs. Yeah, just cheer for the World 3. I don't know if we would call them the underdogs. Maybe the only reason to call them underdogs is because EL has proven themselves to be the best. So anyone against them would by default be the underdog.
That is true. I mean, in theory, if it's the world, the World 3, the best 3 players in the world, they shouldn't technically be the underdogs unless EL already had the best 3 and they were just the 4th, 5th, and 6th best player in the world. But needless to say, it's still a very close matchup so far. I mean, this has been a bit of back and forth here. You can see that castle from Boo really helped. We're just getting up to the 22-minute and 30-second mark here in the game. And yeah, so far, I mean, Boo's doing a great job. They've stabilized, and there are some wonders getting thrown down here, though. Surge, this is going to start to get scary for the EL guys, because Surge does have Hanging Gardens, which is obviously a great wonder to have in Nomad, and he's building pyramids as well now. And
yep.
Has Colossus already been built? I might have missed that earlier.
Colossus. Boo has the Colossus.
Oh, of course, Boo has it. Yep. So Boo has Colossus, but I mean, I think Hanging Gardens and pyramids, that's going to definitely cancel out the Colossus here. And I mean, Boo doesn't really seem to have the footprint that he probably would like to have at this point in the game.
Oh yeah, Boo. Well, actually, Boo has got the higher score. He has aged up. I think it's just a matter of time when he starts getting his knowledge income up. Because if you compare it to everybody else, Boo has probably he's just second to King, but he from the bottom. But everybody else has a higher knowledge income than Boo and King.
Yeah, you can see that there's a bit of an engagement here, possibly between Coldfire and Dave, but no, Coldfire runs away, so there won't be any engagement for the time being. Boo's doing some great raids here, taking out the gems at the top of the map, and I mean, from a rare resource point of view, it does look like the EL guys have much better rare coverage. I mean, just looking at Boy, for example, he's got relics, horses, silk, tobacco, furs, cotton, and obsidian there.
They've also got salt in the top. If you look at that, I mean, not exactly in the top, but top of the Boo's territory.
Yeah.
So and yeah, so that those are nice resources to have in a game where it's so aggressive.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, the other guys, the world 3 here, they've got nice rare in silver and sugar, but they just don't have the same number, and I suspect they have less knowledge rares overall here.
Oh yeah, they do. They have got spice here. They've got gems in the corner, which has a cataphract just raiding it. So, yeah, not in the same numbers as the EL team.
Yeah, exactly, and that's going to help the EL guys in the long term here. But I mean, I feel like for the world 3 here, if they can possibly get Forbidden City between the 3 of them, 3 wonders versus 1, I think that'll definitely bring it back into the balance for them from an economic point of view. And then it's probably going to come down to who can get gunpowder and really push their weight around in the middle of the map here.
Oh yeah, gunpowder is going to be a deciding event in this game, as you just pointed out. And initially I thought Coldfire will be the first one to get to gunpowder, but it looks like Dave Dave has an extra research, and Dave also has higher knowledge income than him. So I think Coldfire just lost that edge, and I won't blame him exactly. Look at that, he's already maxed out on 3 universities, and he still cannot get as much. He still can get as much knowledge, so it's not like something he can do. He can try to grab a few more knowledge rares, but that's it. The only knowledge rare I see is this vine here. Maybe they could try get some wine.
Oh my god! And we just saw Dave has put down Colo. He's gone for the Colo rush here, but not the normal Colo that we're used to. He's going Colosseum here, and I don't know if he's trolling or if he's actually serious about Colosseum. But
Yeah.
I mean, that's a pretty bold move. I mean, not a bad move to do, especially with the style of game he's playing, which is quite, defensive and putting his army in other locations. Can you remind me, what does Colosseum do? Because I don't build it too often, and sometimes.
So Colosseum gives you cheaper towers, cheaper castles, and increased attrition. So I would say it's a really good rare for defense. If Dave ever gets into a defensive position again, right now he seems to have a big army. He can possibly survive on his own. But yeah, I won't exactly say big army again because Coldfire himself got a nice army of his own, and Coldfire just got the literacy upgrade in the library. He's got a bigger army. I'm just making sure we are in the same page. We're almost in the same page. Yeah. So Coldfire's got a bigger army, and in case Coldfire starts to dominate on this side, that's when Dave is going to actually need that Colosseum for defense. If he has Colosseum, he can also put castles in random places and border push Coldfire.
Yeah, you see a big fight here going down between Coldfire and Dave's army. Just checking they've both got the armor upgrade, so there's no real difference as far as armor goes. But it looks like a better army composition here from Dave. And the sheer number of units. He's also got a spy in the mix as well, which always strikes fear into the heart of any attacking army as soon as you start to hear that bribe sound effect go down. And it looks like Dave's got the better outcome of that engagement. And
he did.
Coldfire is on the run in that river. It's so slow though. Trying to get through that river.
Oh man, yeah, Coldfire had a lot of Javelineers, and I guess he did not. I mean, Javelineers are good if you can get them to attack the opponent's archers, but I guess they got taken out initially by the cavalry. So yeah, Dave has a higher number of units alive right now, and actually both of them are very close to aging. I guess they might age just about the same time.
Yeah, you can see that. Oh, sorry, you go.
And Surge here is going to age very soon as well. Versus Mad Dog, who I don't think is going to be aging very soon. Same for Boo. So if Surge continues booming the way he is, I think he can dominate the game by himself on this side for sure. And to be honest, King is doing fine as well. He's got his food and wood to about 180, and he is getting the third military. That means he will be able to get the armor as well.
Yeah,
just like other three players.
Yeah, King's done a great job kind of recovering here. He's about to get his third armor. The only problem for him is he doesn't have any mines at the moment. He's basically only got the one mine with 6 miners, and that's the only thing holding him back because, as Lakota, normally you can walk around and build mines wherever you want to. Perhaps he could walk all the way down behind Boo's base and build at this mine at the back if he was desperate, but I can't think of too many other options here for him to
He does have a mine close to die, if you see. Around the top.
Oh, right.
There is this available mine that he can start using if he wants to.
Yeah, that's probably his best option. Probably safer than going all the way around behind Boo's base, which would be embarrassing for Boo, but it would, probably make sense if he was desperate. But for the time being, it looks like these guys are still just ramping up. And we're getting close to Gunpowder Age, and I'm pretty pumped to see how this game turns out once we do get some, arquebusiers and heavy cavalry in the mix.
Oh yeah, and I want to give it my 2 cents here. And not a lot of people realize this, but pyramids is a perfect wonder to have with an elephant nation like Indians or Persians. Do you know why?
Why's that?
Because pyramids gives you extra food and wealth. And imagine, just guess what the elephants need.
Food and wealth. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's a perfect blend for if you want to spam elephants. So you always have extra food and wealth ready for you to build and spam elephants. Yeah. So I really like that move by Surge here. He's got the highest food there. He's got a very high knowledge as well, 200. That's easily good enough for a long survival. In fact, he has almost just as much knowledge income as the player with Colossus.
Yeah, I mean, can you imagine if he had horses as well? How many elephants he might be able to build here?
Oh, oh yeah, that's
That would be a Persian's dream, I think.
yeah. But I mean, unfortunately for these guys, the EL have the horses, the cotton, and the salt. So yeah, they are not very lucky with the knowledge rares. I mean, the aggressive rares or even the knowledge rares.
Oh no, this
They've got
doesn't look good for Surge right now. He's got all of
oh
his
yeah.
elephants right in the middle here, and we've seen this before in previous tournament games. But his army might get sandwiched. But you can see that King's coming around the top here as well, putting pressure on Boo's army. So this could work out in just a 2v2 engagement rather than a 2v1. You can see that Blue's got a lot of those fire lances that are shooting arrows, or shooting lances, sorry, at the elephants. But it's hard to tell who's going to win this fight because that's a lot of elephants.
Oh yeah, and I would really suggest Boo to just get attrition because none of these guys have supply wagons. King has none, Surge has none. So if he just gets attrition, he might be able to win this fight, even if they have lower numbers.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Boo still has a lot of his crossbowmen still alive, and they're starting to fend off here. It looks like Surge does have to retreat, and he lost a lot of elephants there. So not a great outcome there for Surge, but I mean it was a reasonably even trade. They did cause a lot of damage, and they'll have to turn back and regroup for now.
Oh yeah, and I mean this river right between Mad Dog and Surge, this river is causing so much trouble. Else it would be a perfect spot to start attacking Mad Dog, and this whole wood line is also creating a problem to attack Boo's city, which was taken from Lakota. So yeah, in the end, the terrain is just not favorable for attack from either side. But here on this side, if you look, Dave is starting to dominate. He is harassing both. He's harassing King here, so King's city could be taken down. Coldfire does have a big army, but I don't know. Actually, this time his army is going to have a better composition because his Javelineers will be Arquebusiers now.
Yeah, I mean, Coldfire's got a good army. He's got 2 spies in there as well. And it looks like now you've got the gunpowder kind of action about to heat up here. So we've got Surge and Coldfire both in Age 4. And Dave and Blue Boy will also get to Age 4 in a moment. And it looks like there could be an engagement right here. Coldfire's going for it.
Oh yeah,
Ooh,
and I think Dave probably will get the better outcome of this because he has got a tower. He's setting up a second tower here. He's literally setting up small base and playing tower defense.
Yeah.
In that
It's like it's like Dave's playing Clash of Clans right now, and
right.
he's trying to build his towers. But I mean, this is it looks like I think Dave has got the better outcome. Having that tower probably made a huge difference. He got a nice bribe off as well. I'm not sure how many bribes Coldfire got there, but his spies are dead for that matter. So it looks like they may have been killed before they can get any bribes off. And Coldfire has to turn around now. And I must say, with just the rare positioning here, I feel like this is looking really good for EL. Again, this game's gone back and forth quite a bit, but at this point with Boo having a Colossus, this is when Colossus really starts to make a huge difference. When all armies seem to cap out at populations, and having that Colossus really gives you a big boost.
Oh yeah, and look at that! I mean, Dave captured that city, and King is probably too too much involved in the other fight that he doesn't realize he can just take the city with some militia.
Oh yeah, exactly. I mean, it does look like Surge is under heavy pressure here. He's getting attacked from all angles, and maybe he's getting deja vu from the grand finals right now.
Oh yeah.
Playing his heart out, but look, I can see he's just thrown down a GG, and look, the players will return that GG as well. Let's wait and see.
Whoa.
Sometimes you get a GG that's premature, and they go on to play for a bit longer. But
That was an intense first game, for sure.
That was an amazing game. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I feel like EL had probably the better nations early on, just just the way that, to be honest, the way that turned out with Lakota versus Turks, and the fact that that city was nice and close, and it was just such an easy target for Turks to kind of double with the help of Boy.
Yeah, that triple actually made a lot of difference in the early game, and I'm sure Surge and King are a little bitter for Cold Fire not being able to take the city earlier. But as Surge said, Surge was I think there was a bad communication. Surge was trying to send messages to the team, but they got only sent to King. He mentioned that in the chat. So Cold Fire was not getting any messages from Surge. So he was literally out there just having to figure out all by himself.
Oh, exactly. I mean, yeah, that definitely makes it hard when you're trying to coordinate strategy, but you can only talk to King and you can't talk to Coldfire. Was probably sitting there thinking, "Hey guys, what's going on?"
Yeah, do you want me to boom and just kill in Enlightenment Age, or what's the plan?
And he's not hearing anything back, so sometimes silence is golden. So he was probably just like, okay, I'm just going to chill here, Netflix and chill, and build up a big army. And then, next minute, you've got Dave sitting there tripling against that city. And I think that triple was a big factor because they probably could have held 2v2 there. I mean, they had a nice setup. Surge had plenty of elephants to kind of contribute, but I mean, once Turks can gain a foothold and start sieging from such a long distance, all those cities are going to go down. And you can see in the military stats here at the end of the game. So you've got units killed. Boo's got the most units killed here. But if you look at the difference between units killed and units lost, I feel like Dave actually had the MVP because he had 64 units killed, 34 lost. So you can see that efficiency of using those units really came into the forefront here. And I guess, does anyone here get the opposite award? I guess the most inefficient use. Perhaps King, 76 units killed, but 104 lost. And
but I guess somebody who was tripled or doubled, we cannot judge that from here. But look like just from the sheer numbers, it looks like King did not have the best outcome. But again, if you are against a bigger army or maybe more armies, so 3 armies versus 2 armies, it's definite that the 2 armies are going to lose a lot more units.
Oh, exactly right. No, exactly. And anytime you get tripled, it's always going to hurt your statistics because you can only fight, you're meant to only fight 1 army in this game, and as soon as you start fighting 2 or 3, that's when, the team tactics come into it. So, well played there. I've got to take my hat off. I think we need to think of a sponsor here. We don't have a sponsor for this series yet, but if we did, let's say we had, I don't know, Puma or something, I'd say the Puma action moment of this game was probably when Dave sat there with his really big brain and thought, you know what, I'm playing as Maya, and that city's nice and close, and Maya's really hard to attack. I'm going to send my entire army across, and let's triple that. And that's the Puma Rise of Nations moment of the match. Would you agree, or do you have any other moments you'd like to add?
I think that was the one that decided the outcome of this game for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think, what do you think? Should we get straight into game number 2 of this best of 7?
Yes, let's dive right into it. So the score right now is 1-0. EL has won the first game.
Yeah, I just saw in the chat, Dave did say, my big brain, you know what else is really big? I'm not sure, I haven't seen Dave's on webcam, maybe his nose?
Probably. Ron Fuller says, your ego.
Nice, alright. So let's get game number 2 loaded. So I'll just pause at the 0-second mark.
Yeah, I am at the 1 second mark, so ready whenever you are.
Alrighty, let's go. So 3, 2, 1, start. Oh, and we are back up and running. This is the World 4.
World 4 versus EL.
So the World 3 thought, that game didn't go as well as they hoped. They've recruited an additional player, and I believe that is HBI, which is...
yeah. Sir, do you want to enlighten us what HBI means?
I believe Serge did say earlier, I think it's Hitachi? No, wait.
Hitachi, was that?
No, hold on. I'll try and. Someone did mention it earlier, but I can't remember what it was. HBI. Someone will tell us in the chat, I'm sure. But it's.
Yes, Serge, if you're here, please tell us what HBI means.
I'm pretty sure it's. Yeah, it's a famous old player like Alan Killer's dad, or Halen, or something like that. I'm not sure who it is though.
Yeah, I think I stood for Itachi, but anyway.
Oh, I think I think it's Satoshi. Yeah, you're right.
Any idea why? Who is Noob Hunt?
I think that is Itachi playing as Noob Hunt. But
Oh no! Ron Polera said that Noob Hunt is Barbaric. I have played with Barbaric. He's an awesome player. I think it's probably going to work in their favor.
Barbaric is a really good player. Yeah, I've played with him too. He does like to throw out a lot of taunts. I've noticed he likes to call people 49. Play the tutorial as noob, and I suspect we might see some taunts get thrown out if the World 4 can turn this around and level up this series. So let's have a quick look. So we've got a 4v4 here on Watering Hole. Same lineups as last game with the addition of Barbaric, aka Noob Hunt, and we've got the addition on the EL team. We've got, it looks like Sims is playing here as well as the as Boo, Dave, and Boy. So, what do you think as far as compared to the last game from a skill perspective? Do you think adding Noob Hunt or Barbaric here is better than Sims, or is it going to even itself out?
I mean, these players are at such a high level that I guess it's still the average is not going to move around much if you add anybody here. Barbaric, as I said, I've played with him. He's an amazing player, and with the players of his own caliber, Surge, King, Coldfire, I think it's not going to affect the average skill of the team. And same for L. All the L players in their roster were amazing, so it's going to be just as evenly matched. And if you remember from the last game, as we talked, it's not like the L won easily. They had to triple somebody, and even after a triple, it took them a long time to win. So I guess this is going to be an exciting match, especially on the Watering Hole, the most cursed map of all times. Let's see what what these guys can do. I'm excited for the water fights.
Yeah.
Seeing those ships go down. And right before, yeah, please continue. I'm sorry.
I was just going to say that just speaking of water fights, you can see that Coldfire here, as the orange player, has got Spain, and I feel like a really good strategy on this map is to go for the double dock opening, where you basically spend 2 docks, get 2 triamies out nice and early, and basically take over the center of the pond just by spamming ships. And you look at the lineups here. We've got Spanish, Romans, Japs, and Nubians versus Greeks, French, British, and Aztecs for EL. Who do you think has got the better kind of luck of the draw here in the nations?
It's very difficult to find out. French, British, and Aztecs are all great. In fact, even Athens. If L team gets hold of the water, then for sure Greeks are going to own as well. On the other side, Romans, Japan, Nubians, and Spanish. I would say Spanish are not the best nation, but for this map they are good for this map. So it's very difficult to choose a favorite team in terms of nation. I would slightly lean towards the World 4, but not by a big margin.
Yeah, I agree. I think this is pretty almost evenly balanced to a T. And yeah, as you said, I'd probably just slightly give the edge to the team that has Japanese, just because Japs are so good, and you've got Spain too, which for Spain being a weaker nation, this is the perfect map to have it on, where you can really get those ships out nice and early and make the most of them. But at the same time, Nubians. If you're going to pick Nubians, this is definitely not the best map for Nubians, just because there's just not as many rare resources to take advantage of.
Well, if you look at their resources, I do not agree. They've got gems, they've got furs, dye, spice, relics. I guess they've got enough rare resources for the Nubian player to take use of. Maybe not as much as any other map, but still too many rare resources. He's maxing out on not maxing out. He's got a 40 wealth income coming, and he also has relics. So relics with Nubians, a that's a big boost for them, because relics, that's 30 knowledge coming from a single rare resource. That's about as much knowledge you would get from a full library.
Yeah, that's actually amazing, and you bring up a really good point. I actually hadn't seen how many rares they do have, but they've got control over. It looks like at least 5 rares there, and possibly more depending on if they can fight for any of these ones that are on the. It looks like they will probably secure furs as well.
Oh yeah, they will.
But I mean, as you said, that 30 relics, that's basically like having an entire another university in addition to whatever else you have, and not having to spend that gold on knowledge early on means you can use it for buying resources to do whatever else you need to do. So it looks like the Coldfire hasn't gone for double dock here. He's just gone for the single dock, but he is harassing nice and early on there. And even just with that one triangle there, it's still doing a lot of damage in the sense that it's zoning out the fish and giving the World 4 team here the ability to get that wealth income coming in much earlier than EL.
Oh yeah, that's right. And I'm just trying to find out if anybody has got water rare resources. And looks like there is no copper or citrus on this map.
Yeah, that's for the sake of a good game, I appreciate that, because I feel like when you do get copper or citrus, it can imbalance the game slightly to the team that, well, not even slightly, it's quite significant really in the scheme of things, because it can turn it into a bit of a rush for the other team to sometimes have to try and win on the land nice and early. But having said that, I have seen quite a few games now where one team has copper and it seems like they're going to win the game, and then they end up getting outsmarted or outplayed. So rare resources help, but they definitely don't define or decide games completely on their own.
Yeah, maybe on this map, copper and citrus can be decisive, but luckily we don't have any of those, so it's going to be a fair game. And well, since we were talking about nations, I do feel that the best World 4 team has got a better nation to control the water, Japanese and Spanish. Yeah, they're really good for the initial control over water. And remember, once you get the initial control, that you're literally set for the rest of the game, because it's very difficult to bounce back and try to get more water once you have lost it initially for the ancient age.
Yeah, and a little bit of miss micro here by King. He did lose one of his ships there, and it does look like King needs to be careful. He might lose another one here, and losing these ships early on is probably the worst possible thing that could happen in the early game, because King playing as Japanese, he's really had the advantage of getting those ships out nice and early, but you want to try and maintain them, and when it gets to low health, looks like he will sneak away here just.
Oh, just HP. In time. Just in time.
Oh my God, that was close. Close call, but EL, they've got plenty of ships getting spammed here by Boo, and it looks like he can afford to build more if he wants to, so he's got one sitting in his dock as well. So the EL guys are pretty much going hard here on the water, because they know how important it is to get that momentum in the early game, and try and secure the pond.
Oh yeah, right. Look at that. Dave's there with 3 of his ships. Boo's there with 3 of his ships, and 4th one coming. It's going to be a very heavy battle on water. I see only 1 from King, 1 from Surge. I guess everybody is joining the water fight now.
There's some really nice land raiding going on at the same time though, which I think is really good, because often it's really tough to balance both the needs of the water and also the land. But Dave's building ships and both helping out in the middle, microing his ships away. Some really nice micro there, getting away with only 25 HP, but also attacking on the land. And if you can raid with land units and try and take out those rares, and also ideally take out some woodcutters, then that helps in the ocean, in the pond as well, because then your opponents can't build as many ships, and you kind of win on both fronts.
Oh yeah. I mean, they're raiding on water as well, and look at that, a tower coming from a Mad Dog. Oh no, actually it's from Dave. I just realized Dave is the one with Aztecs. So yeah, I mean, Aztecs raids are heavenly. They continue to fight, and they continue to mass up more resources, and that just gives them more reason to fight. So I feel, yeah, Aztecs are really good for this map as well. And just pointing out, Barbaric realizes that Dave is building a tower. I do not know why he continues to build a tower um, because yeah, it probably will not be completed in the same time.
Yeah, true. Sometimes you do have to cut your losses and just try and move on before he's going to lose those resources if it does get attacked first by this tower, which it looks like it will. So yeah, Dave definitely won that tower race, and Dave's playing really well.
Yep, he is. On this side, Boo is full on water. There is no barracks from Boo. The only barracks I know is from Sims here, and that's also looks like a kind of a preemptive defensive barracks. Still, if you look at water, it's more mostly controlled by the best four team, but EL still has managed to secure two fishes. Not bad, easily better than not having any fishes at all. But it looks like they might be losing that as well.
Yeah, I believe Coldfire went for an interesting strategy here. As Spanish, he skipped both science and civic and just went straight for H2. I think it was to get out the fire ships as early as possible and try and get some balance back into taking this pond in the middle. And so far, it seems to be doing quite a good job. Just needs to micro it carefully. That's all.
Yeah, I really like that idea. The only thing I am not happy with is that his food eco was stuck at 80, I think, for a while.
Well, he does lose that fire raft against a fisherman ship, which is not a great use of it, but I guess that happens. And it looks like Boo is making a stand here. He's fighting back. He's got plenty of ships, and he's healing them up when they're on low HP, so he's never losing them completely, which obviously helps in the long term here. And he's also got two barks, so some big fights going on here in the center. I don't think it's hard to say who's really winning this water fight. I mean, obviously the World 4 guys are doing a great job. They're making the most of this fish. Every second right now, they're fishing from about 4 or 5 patches here. But
Oh yeah,
I suspect the EL guys are not going to let that carry on for too much longer.
that is right. And look here, I guess if King is being the Japanese player, if he just gets a barrack, just spams 5 heavy infantry, he could take Paris without any resistance, because yeah, Boo is so much involved in water, he does not even have a barracks yet. These guys just need to start their attack on water, and I mean on land, and they can win this.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. The world guys right now have got to be happy. They've got, Coldfire's doing a great job with Spanish. He's got 4 triumers just sitting there in the back of that pond. I feel like they've got enough, capital invested into their ships right now that they can probably feel fairly safe and start to transition to, a more land-based army moving forward and not have to spam further ships. It does look like, the EL guys are still trying to do what they can, but unless all 4 players committed to ships, I don't think they can retake the pond right now.
Yeah, they cannot. Yeah, you're right. All 4 of the World 4 players are involved in water, and compared to only 3 from the EL team. I don't think Sims has been active on water as much as the other guys.
Yeah, I mean, and you can see that both Japanese and Boo as purple, so light blue and purple, both went despot here. And I mean, if you look at their technology choices so far, Boo he's playing as French, so I mean that's probably not too surprising that he went despot. Whereas when you look at King, he's playing as Japanese. Still a good nation
Oh yeah.
to go despot with, but not as common. Most people will generally go for the boom. But
I would still go for senator with unless he had their extra commerce, because Japanese can get, I mean, they can get to 150 food income in no time.
yeah, exactly. That's a big sacrifice to make. But I guess at the same time, Japanese obviously, their units are, is it 10%, 7% cheaper for barracks units per age? So I mean, if you combine that fact with the despot discount that you get, maybe that's King's approach here. Is he thinks, okay, well, if I'm up against French anyway, sometimes the best defense is a good offense, and I guess when you do go despot, it really doesn't give you much choice but to just spam units and maybe give him that discipline of focus of just, okay, I'm just gonna build units and try and kill Boo, and that's it.
Oh yeah, and I mean these guys have got a big navy. I guess they should march in front and stop the EL team from using any water. EL is still using 2 fishes and maybe a third one as well. At least Dave is using the 3rd fish. This game slightly, yeah, it looks tilted towards the World 4 so far.
Yeah, absolutely, and thank you to the follow for whoever that was. I really appreciate it. I've actually only got 36 followers at the moment, and I need to reach 50. So if anyone's watching,
hey guys,
that hasn't followed, please do me a big favor and just click the follow button and help me reach that 50 target, because that'll be a huge help for me. Because once you hit 50, you can save your videos for, I think, a lot longer, and there's some other benefits too. So yeah, that's my goal at the moment.
Yes, guys, please follow Kron's channel right now. If you're watching this, it'll be a big help. Yeah. So back in the game, if you look at the Japanese city Niigata, it's so much exposed. It's like King is asking Boo to just take that city because there's no tower there. There's no barracks. Yeah, I don't know what's going on in there exactly.
I mean, I hate to be the guy that brings this up, but if you look at that Japanese city, do you think that second city of Kings is slightly racist by any chance?
Yeah, Japanese. I don't know if Japanese have a history of being racist, but that city is not giving me a good impression for sure.
No, it's not. But it looks like that city is under pressure here, and King is gonna have to rotate around. He actually built all of his infrastructure at the bottom here, so Boo's kind of caught him napping a bit, and the troops are kind of circling around here. But
oh yeah, and Sims is going to join the fight too, I hope, because that is the obvious thing to do. And Boo is going all in here.
Yeah, it looks like this is pretty much all in, because wow, yeah, he's bringing all his militia. So here we go. This is it. It's militia time. They got the pitchforks out, and they're charging in. So they have taken the city, but can they hold the city? That's the main thing. I think Boo was expecting a big army there, but so far he's been met with no resistance at all. They're all running away.
Oh, yep. No resistance. And I mean, something good that King did is he just got his scholars out, which I believe is a very strong move, because scholars are very important. They cost you wealth. You don't want to lose them as militia, or even just as bait to a French army.
Yeah, absolutely. And guys, just so anyone who's watching right now knows, so the score right now is 1-0 to EL. We had some issues with the video overlay, so we can't show the score, but it's 1-0, and this is the second match out of a best of 7. So.
Oh yeah.
Ooh, and it looks like Boo's men, you know, they've had their fun in the sun. They got the pitchforks out, and now back to work, guys. You're not going to sit there on the front lines. You've had your fun, you've had your adventure,
yeah.
And now get back to work.
1 kill for everybody. Now time to go back and farm. no more.
See?
No more farm. Like two farmers on one farm. That's not allowed. Boo probably instructed them all.
Yeah, exactly. So it looks like yeah, a bit of a false alarm there for those militia. They thought they were going into some heroic moment where they could save the day, but all they really did was captured an empty city, which had nothing in it.
Oh yeah, and here I mean Dave is doing really well on water. He might even be taking the. I mean everybody is so much. They just lost the focus on water now, and it looks like EL might be able to take back the water for now, and especially for the Aztec player. Look at all that. If you're an Aztec player, you see that all those fishing ships as potential plunder.
Oh, exactly.
That's freebies lying around for you to be taken.
That's like food. I mean, basically Dave's fishing because he's fishing from both the fish, but he's also fishing from his opponent's corpses right now, because every time he kills them, he's getting extra resources. So I think Dave's doing a bit of double fishing.
Oh yeah, he is. And I guess both Nubant and Coldfire need to do something about it. Either be active on water, or just go all in on land. On this side, if you see, King and Surge are doing really great. Surge has got the extra military as well, and he's got Despot.
Yeah, he does have extra military, but it doesn't look like he's got the armor upgrade. He doesn't have a castle yet.
They got a
oh,
little.
sorry.
They got.
He's playing as Roman.
Yeah.
He's playing as
Yeah.
Roman, so of course he's getting free armor. That's all. My mistake.
And he got a little unlucky. I mean, they are with against the Greeks in front, and Greeks are a little fast to age. So if it was any small city, I think it would have been taken already by now.
Well, Surge is bringing some militia here. I don't know how many he's got. Maybe 6. There is an engagement here. It looks like the EL guys don't have the best position here. I mean, Sims' army is not doing anything. Basically allowing a 2v1, and you know, for the world guys to take on one army at a time, and now they're rotating around, turning left, and now taking on Sims' army. Yeah, not the best engagement there by Sims, kind of letting Boo get hung out to dry there.
Definitely, that's that could be the Puma game of the moment right there.
That could well and truly be the Puma, you know, show match moment of the game. But I mean, what's the opposite one where you know, your teammate didn't come into attack? But well played by Surge and by King. I mean, they got a great double off there. They have turned around and saved most of their units. Oh no, actually, looks like
Actually, I guess it actually worked out for the EL guys. But something to remember is that with that Despot, Boo is still far away from aging.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, going Despot is a huge kind of blow as far as your economy goes in the long term. But, you know, you can recover from it. But normally I feel like you need a wonder or two just to help boost your economy back up if you're going to try and compete against players that went Senate in the early game.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Speaking of wonders, you can see that Dave's just thrown down Hanging Gardens as well. And, yeah, that matches, you know, the Colossus that Boy has. So from a wonder perspective, I feel like the EL guys have, you know, much better wonders, and they also have the ocean now. I mean, the pond in the middle here.
Oh yeah, they just managed to almost take back the bond. Dave and I'm making sure we are at the same time point, almost at the same time point. But I guess Surge is trying to go to the other side now. And Surge's army just got spotted because of that dock that was being attacked by Dave's ship.
Yeah, rotating down here to the bottom hand side, and I mean, Dave probably cottoned onto that, and I wonder what Dave's response is going to be here, because Dave's investing a lot in ships. Dave's got 2 docks himself. He's building carracks out of 2 docks pretty much non-stop here, realizing how important it is to try and take back this pond. And a bit of a resurgence, a bit of a renaissance here as far as the pond battle goes. Calder is investing a lot in ships himself, and some heavy rafts coming out of cold fire as well. So,
Oh yeah.
yeah, I don't know how this is going to work out here in the center.
And did you know that your the French Despot can actually heal ships?
Really? No.
Yeah. So a very funny thing is that if you have your ships near the shore, and you get your Despot or any leader or general, they also get the armors.
Oh, really? So, okay, I've got another question. This might be taking it too far, but what if you got a Despot as French, and then you moved your Despot into the center of the pond as a transport barge? Would that heal all the troops around you?
I don't think the supply ability works, or any ability works when you're on the transport barge. So no, unfortunately, no. But that would be a big hack if you are French.
That would be OP as hell. Imagine that. I mean, a Despot floating in the middle of the ocean. Just
Healing his ships through sheer willpower.
like permanent citrus. And with citrus too. I mean, can you imagine that? That would be OP as hell.
Yeah, oh yeah, double healing there, right there.
And Versailles as well. No.
So the moment Boo ages, Boo has got a decent sized army here, and Sims himself got a nice army. I guess the moment they age, it's going to it's going to be really bad for the HBI clan. Now, what's funny is I think King is now regretting his decision to get Despot because he's still stuck with 100 eco.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, wow, 100 eco. Well, he's got 145 eco now. He's just got commerce too. But yeah, I mean, just long term in the game, not being able to get to 200 puts you at a big disadvantage. I mean, Boo's also at 100. Were you talking about Boo or talking about Japanese?
We're talking about Japanese. Yeah, I think for Boo it's fine because he's still getting the French healing bonus, which is really OP. But for the Japanese player, the despot is just a regular despot, like with any other civilization.
Yeah.
And I think he does. I was actually talking about Surge. Surge went for despot, and he is capped at 100 eco.
Yeah, Surge is capped, exactly right. And I mean that's hurting Surge now. I mean, whenever you go despot and the game goes beyond the 20-minute mark, and you're not crushing them, or you're not in the box seat, then it's probably not a good spot for your team. And
Oh yeah.
yeah, it's going to be tough. He's getting commerce too now, so hopefully he can boom up. But I mean, yeah, the writing is starting to look like it's on the wall here for the world floor, because if you lose that pond and you've got so many players, without really strong economies, it's going to be a slow kind of path. And you're up against Colossus and Hanging Gardens. That's the fun thing.
Oh, and look at that barbaric is. Uh, I mean that London was not sieged down, and without being sieged down, if you go and try to attack a city, you're actually fighting the city as well as everything else. And Coldfire again fighting that attrition. So this 3v2 did not work as well for the World 4 team for sure.
Yeah, no, you can see that Dave's coming back with a decent Aztec army there, and he's going to feast on those units if he can get some kills. Let's see how much plunder he can get.
Oh man, yeah, it's he's living a dream right now, getting so much plunder, and Surge is like, oh man, how did we lose this? Even with the triple, they could not take the city, and on this side, Boo is already, yeah, Boo and Sims have done their wonder. They have taken the city, and there comes GG.
Yeah, you can see that. Dave is just feasting there. All I could see was the tooltips dropping up with 45 wells, 45 wood, 45 whatever the hell he wanted at the time, and yeah, it becomes pretty scary at this point. And nearly at the 24-minute, 45-second mark, yeah, it does look like this game is not far away from finishing. Yeah,
Oop.
GG from Coldfire.
I guess I was out of sync and I did not notice that.
No, I think
I'm really sorry.
everything.
But
was,
anyway, yeah. So I can't believe it did not work out for the HBI clan as much as I would think. By the way, I just got a notification King was online, and King has joined this HBI as well. I'm now getting curious. What is HBI? I must know, else I will not be able to sleep tonight.
Yeah, I think HBI. Let's try and brainstorm here. I mean, it's got to mean something obvious. Let's say the I stands for Itachi. So, what's the HB stand for?
They mistype HBO. Yeah, probably they're trying to get some sponsorship from HBO, and that's it. That's their try. Not bad at all.
Alright, given that this is, depending on where you are in the world, this is Easter Sunday, I'm assuming for most people, or it will be Easter Sunday very shortly. We'll be giving away a free Easter egg here for whoever can choose or pick what HBI stands for, obviously to be assumed, once we can confirm exactly what it is. But yes, this will be shipped. As long as you pay for the shipping, I will send this across the world to wherever you are. It's a Cadbury chocolate Easter egg.
Oh man, yeah. Please mention what the HBI stands for, and you might get an Easter egg. And yeah, we will also give an Easter egg at 50 subs. So please 50 follows. Please follow Kron right now. He's got a lot of Easter eggs.
I do. got many more where that came from too. So please, yeah, I need to get 50 subs so I can save my videos for longer. Because at the moment, yeah, they're getting deleted after about 2 weeks, I think, or even a week. So.
Oh yeah, same for me. Yeah, if you're following Prawn right now, and if you have some some follows left for yourself from yourself, then just follow me as well. I am almost there at 50 as well. That'll be great.
Yeah, make sure you follow. So twitch.tv/ you know where to go. Rise of Patience.
And Easy Cron HD, please follow us both. That'll be amazing. So we don't, yeah, we both don't have to refresh our videos every 2 weeks to keep them there online.
Yeah, exactly. So I think I'll just double check right now. Okay. Yep. So what do you think? Should we get straight into game number 3?
Yes, let's get straight into the game number 3. We've got a best of 7. The score is 2-0. Assuming this goes to 7 games, we need to be really fast at this as well.
Yeah.
Hidden backup Itachi.
Hidden backup.
I think that was what's it. So I think VOK has won the Easter egg.
Well done. This Easter egg is yours. Congratulations. Just send me a private message with your address, and send me about $20 and I'll send it straight to you.
And also send me your bank account details, credit card details, just for just for information.
Correct. Yeah, just asking for a friend. That's all.
Yeah.
It's always good to know. All right. So I'm in the replay at the 0-second mark. Are you ready to start from your end?
Yes. So yeah, I have started it.
Okay. No worries. I'll just start, and hopefully you can sync up. But just shout out if you want to know what second I'm at. So I'm at the 10-second mark now. Yeah.
Okay. Right. So it's the same teams again, 4 versus 4, HB. I think Coldfire and King might just put HBI very soon as well. King has already put HBI. If you go to your Steam, if you have him as friends, he has already put HBI. So looks like this HBI is the new Forwali now.
And yeah, it looks like HBI, yeah, possibly. I mean, are we ever going to see Forwali again? Or was Forwali just, it'll go down in history as one of those iconic clan names that only lasted one tournament?
Yep, it's possible, and I guess Surge is looking for just to assemble the best players of all, and maybe this is his second attempt. So HBI could eventually be Forwali 2.0.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's have a quick look. So we've got a 4v4, same players, and we've got EL with Greeks, Aztecs, Mongols, and Chinese versus the other team, the World 4, Iroquois, Lakota, Egyptians, and Germans. What do you think of these two lineups?
Oh, I think hands down the HBI team have got a better nations. They've got Lakota, Iroquois, Germans. These are really good. Egyptians, of course. I think even without wonders, Egyptians are not bad because that extra food bonus, they can max out on 150 food without getting a third city, just like Japanese and Germans, and that really helps.
Oh, absolutely. I think I'd have to agree overall. I feel like Greeks, I always have this argument every time we cast a game, because I always make a comment saying, I don't really like Greeks are slow, and then Dave will always say in the chat, hey, Greeks are like the fastest nation in the game. And I'm like, well, there's a difference, because in the mere mortal hands of a player like myself, Greeks are slow because I know personally I always spam way too many scholars early on, don't have any gold to build rare resources, to build merchants, and yeah, just generally I'm just in trouble from the very beginning. Whereas in the hands of a player like Dave, I think, well, actually Dave is playing as Greeks in this game, so maybe I might watch what he does and take some notes here, because...
Oh yeah, let's do it, yes. And the Mongol player is right close to the Coldfire, so Iroquois and Mongols are in front of each other. I guess it should be pretty obvious that they both will be going for military 1. At least the Iroquois player should go for military 1 for that free scout.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think I'd be almost disappointed if he didn't go for that. I mean, the question is whether he goes for commerce before going for mill, or just going for a straight up mill one without anything else. And I think the fact that it's cold fire, and cold fire has such a reputation as being a boomer, that he will probably opt for the more conservative economic option, which would be commerce first. Do you think that would be a better move here, or just go straight to mill?
I think if the cold fire mounts pressure and barbaric or noob hunt from behind, he comes and starts building his city. I think that'll be perfect to take down the Mongol player here.
Yeah, I suspect we'll wait and see what happens, but I think barbaric or light blue here, playing as Lakota, I think that's exactly what I would think he might do here, because it's such an easy target to take on, Boo's capital. I mean, firstly, the fact that he's Boo is already a target in itself, because everyone wants to take out Boo. It's just it's just normal. It's just as soon as you see Boo, you're like, okay, I'm going to try and kill Boo, and especially if this game's going to go on the internet, that's exactly what any player wants to do here. But I mean,
Oh yeah.
but the fact that it's so close there, and you've got Iroquois who can raid early on, probably slow down Boo and almost soften him up a bit. And then Lakota is just such a quick nation to rush with. It's almost up there with Turks. I feel like that would be a pretty bold move, but a good one as well.
Oh yeah. So I have high hopes from the HBI team this game. Because Lakota and Iroquois, that's a really great combo. Iroquois players cannot be seen in friendly territory, and Lakota territory cannot be seen. So you can have Iroquois units running around in Lakota territory, and it can be very hard to see where they are. So I guess this is a perfect combo. Both can be played aggressively, and on this side, Chinese are not the fastest of the nation, so it's going to be tricky, and especially in making sure I am synced with you.
Yeah, so we're just at the 4-minute 35-second mark.
Oh yeah. So on this side, it's going to be very important to see what these guys choose for. And what's funny is, both Iroquois and the Mongol players are going for commerce, it seems.
Yeah, I mean that's, I guess, expected but unexpected at the same time, because I feel like both players, it's almost like a bit of a, rock, scissors, paper style situation, because if you go military first and your opponent goes commerce mill, then, you kind of can normally get your market up and then build your barracks in time to defend, and you're better economically. Whereas if you go commerce civic against someone who goes commerce mill, then you'll get your city up in time that you can basically defend, and you've got the city up as well. Whereas if you go military first against commerce civic, then you're naturally going to rush them and they're screwed. So.
Oh, yeah, I feel military one is actually a very viable option, even if the other person is going commerce and military, because when you go for commerce, you first make a market, and if you have a market, you're also likely to build a merchant. That means you may not have enough wood to get your barrack down in time, and that could give an opportunity to the opponent player.
Yeah, actually, that's so true. And I feel like as Iroquois, their spearmen are just so fast that you can hunt down that barracks. And if you can find that barracks and start, slashing it as it gets built, it's not quite GG, but it's like a massive, massive advantage in the game. So, yeah, I must admit, I would have liked to have seen Coldfire go for mill first there, just to see what would have happened. But I guess we'll never know now. He is building that barracks, but just a little bit more delayed than we thought it might have been.
Oh yeah. And looks like Noob Hunt is going for Civic. And if you see, his villagers are face to face with the Chinese villagers right here. Can you see that?
Yeah. Hold on a sec. In the middle of the map, or whereabouts are you looking?
It's close to it's close to Coldfire's territory near Cotton. If you go to Coldfire. Oh no! Noob Hunt actually decided to build somewhere else. I was expecting him to build close to Cotton here because he has 2 villagers. That was strange.
Ah, yeah. He's gone right in the center here. An interesting location for his city. It's protected by this cliff, so it's almost the perfect defensive kind of arc here as far as these mountains go.
Oh yeah.
And getting nice territory for his team. But I mean, as you said, yeah, could have gone next to that cotton and gone for a double against Boo's capital here.
Yeah,
So,
because right now, and Mad Dog is building there, and if Bad Dog will be able to split both white and light blue. I don't think that was a good idea. Light blue just gave them an opportunity to split the players.
yeah, I mean, well done by Boy. Nice city placement, and yeah, that's going to potentially cause issues for Lakota moving forward. I mean, his caravan route is pretty much going to be under threat here. He might be able to sneak one through somehow, but that's a lot of mountains to go around.
Oh yeah, that is a lot of mountains to go around. Yeah, I don't really like this build. I think it could have gone way better. But anyway, we got Surge as Germans and the infamous Surge as Germans. We've seen him play really good whenever he gets Germans. So I'm kind of excited to see what he can do in this game as well. It looks like Surge is getting silver, and he still does not have science. And Sir just mentioned in the chat, no need for threesome. We will win here.
No need for a threesome. Yeah, I'm not sure if that's being taken out of context.
Yeah, I don't know. But I guess he just means that he's going to double or triple somebody, or maybe they're not doubling or tripling somebody. It's one of those.
Yeah.
I'm just sure, but in any case, it looks like Surge is onto something. Since King is building the Colossus, I don't know if Surge is going to just support him or he actually wants to go on an offense. He does not have any barracks, so there's no way we can find out where he's going to build.
Yeah, I feel like we won't know until he actually does put down those barracks, just to see what he's thinking at the moment. But I mean, as this game progresses, it looks like it will be a straight up fight between Dave and King, and King's gone for the Colossus as Egypt, so that'll be an interesting fight. I mean, I feel like this map, it's quite tactical depending on where you are. Sometimes it might be better to boom, sometimes it might be better to rush, depending on where these mountains are located. But I mean, the biggest thing that it's a bit of a missed opportunity, but I feel like, as we talked about, Coldfire probably could have gone for early pressure with Lakota to take on Boo's capital, but just the way it's set up now, China's got a great location there to back up and reinforce. And
yeah,
it's going to be tough for Lakota to do a sneak attack on anyone based on where the buildings are right now.
That's right. And here there is a tower put up by Noob Hunt, but it's right in the territory of Boo, so it could potentially get bribed very soon. I feel this city of Kulja, if you see the second city of Boo, it's in a very vulnerable position, and maybe I would even call it perfect to be taken out by Coldfire and Noob Hunt if they double in time.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, Noob Hunt's got his barracks quite far over to the left, so it'll be hard to reinforce too much there. But it looks like he will kind of take up a position here where he's just going to fight against Boy, somewhat in maybe a one-on-one or maybe a 2v1 against Boy. Whereas you've got Boo. The terrain's not really working out well for Boo here, because just to the left-hand side of his main capital, that mountain is kind of in the way. It just prevents the free movement of troops a little bit, and kind of segregates them. So I feel like the World 4 guys have a better kind of setup here. Slightly better nations, I think, as well. And who knows? Maybe this is going to be third time's a charm for the World 4 guys.
Oh yeah, maybe. And they have done that before. The Forwali team won the third game against PLA. Possibly third team. I think they won the third game against EL as well. So they've always had this third time's a charm deal.
That is true. I mean, this is the spiritual successor of Full Valley, I feel like. In the sense that it's still got Surge on the team and they're trying to get revenge against their foes, being EL. And, not a bad setup so far. I mean, they've got Colossus with Egypt, you got Germans, you got Lakota, and you've got Iroquois. I feel like you can't really complain about any of those setups so far. How's the rares looking though?
Oh, there's rares spread out everywhere. Yeah. Um, I mean, the EL team just lost their diamonds for a while, so yep, that's not looking good for them. They've got Amber near Beijing. They've also got dye here, which I don't think they know about or they don't care about. Yeah, they actually don't know about the dye. And they've got sugar, obsidian, tobacco. To be honest, these are very mediocre rares. They have, except sugar, they've not got anything that's, oh wow, what a rare kind of thing.
Yeah.
Maybe this cotton would be helpful, but cotton is too much in front. It could be raided. Worse, compared to what the best the HBI team has, they have got wool. I guess they got relics, which just got raided. They've got bison, gems, and spice, silver. They're all scattered around, but I think they easily have the better of the rare resources. Actually, they've also, there is this Pappy which is somewhere in this corner, but if I had to guess which nation is going to get it, I think it's more going likely to be the HBI team, which can secure the Pappy.
Yeah, very true. I mean, that Pappy is kind of in an interesting location there, almost on its own plateau. But I wonder if, yeah, both teams probably think it's probably not worth the investment, given that, yeah, they can't really control it or defend it without sending a couple of troops there to stay there and protect.
Oh yeah, and just pointing out here, Surge is there with his 140 eco. He is he has built up a base next to the Aztec capital. I mean, a small barracks stable, a siege workshop.
Yeah,
making
absolutely.
sure we're on the same page. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm at the 30-minute and 20-second mark, and it looks like he's going for a ambush here, which is definitely going to take Sims off guard here. He's about to build his senate in that city too, so he's definitely not moving his capital. The wrong time for his senate to finish.
Oh yes, it may be the wrong time to. If I was Surge, I would delete that senate right now. Oh, he did.
Oh, well done. And is he going to build it at his second city? He's already building it. Excellent
play
there by Sims.
What? Such a bad luck. That is the worst luck I have ever seen.
Yeah.
I mean, and I'm talking about Surge. What? I mean, he could have just let him finish this the Senate.
Oh,
he might still be taking that city. I don't know. It's a very close call.
It's gonna be close. I mean, it's getting lower and lower, and the Senate does go down. So well played.
Oh no! I don't want to be Surge right now, man. He just missed out on an awesome chance to get this the cap sack.
Yeah, I mean, he does get the city though. So Tenochtitlan has gone down, and it looks like Sims is in a bad place. I mean, he said in the chat, he said GG. I think he's probably just frustrated, and obviously knows that regardless of whether it was his capital or not, losing a lot of citizens there and wasting a lot of economy definitely puts him back. So no matter how you look at this, a great move by Surge, and great players by Surge too, running away and
saving the siege. Yeah. Saving the siege, that's more important.
Yeah, exactly. And he's actually using March there, so able to use that to get away, and yeah, saving those sieges is definitely very valuable. He's got plenty of horses too, and he can sit back, mass up more troops, and go back and give it another crack in a short while.
Oh yeah, and he is also set up for medieval age very soon. Compared to Sims, I think Sims has taken a big blow here. He is not going to be ready, and Dave, I think, is going to be aging very soon.
Yeah, I mean,
on this,
if we look through just the tech of all the players for the time being, so we've got Noob Hunt, it's just on mill 2. He's got pretty low resources, so he's going for a fairly aggressive build. Surge has mill 2 as well, nothing else. Dangerous Dave has gone for Civic and mill 2. So no one, it looks like Dave's about to age, but yeah, no one else is super close just yet.
And yeah, King has got this perfect opportunity. He has been, he has got enough time to boom there, you get the advantage of Colossus. So I think now King should be winning on this his side as well. So far, this game is clearly in the favor of clearly in the favor of the HBI team. I also kind of feel weird that if you look at the other side, Lakota and Iroquois, they are sieging down different cities instead of combining their forces. What are your thoughts on that?
Oh, I don't mind it when it's just the sieging phase, but once they start to reduce the city down, I'd like to see, for example, Noob Hunt here as the Lakota player to siege down that city of Zhangzhou, and basically get Iroquois to come across and move his entire army and just double it in one fell swoop, because that's going to be tough for Boo to kind of reinforce, and he could even attack Boo's army as he tries to walk across.
Oh yeah, you are right. And especially considering that L and the boy or Mad Dog had to help Sims here with this militia, and he actually still has some archers here. So I think this is he's in a perfect position. I mean, Coldfire, and Noob Hunt are actually set up for a very successful game on that side, as long as they keep fighting their battles properly.
Yeah, correct. And you can see that Sims here is in trouble. He's got all these militia just hiding behind the city, so great placement of the militia, I like that. But, I mean, Surge has got a decent army. He saved most of his troops earlier, and Surge is going for that city again, and doing a lot of damage, forcing Sims to move forward and attack his army. But I don't think Sims has enough here. And he does lose enough militia. He has lost control of that city now, and his economy is pretty much in the toilet right now.
Oh yep, Sims is practically dead on this side. Surge manages to just click up the button before his silver got raided by Dave. Dave's doing a great job on that side as well. Just that something to see here is if also actually Dave did not age as fast as Sims. That's as King. That's funny, and he is going to have it difficult here because the Colossus is with King. He has got his economy set up way better than what Dave has.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Dave is aging up to age 3 now, but I mean, when you're playing, Dave's economy is actually not that strong at the moment. He has gone for senator, but he's only got 110 food coming in and 90 wood, so unless there was some raiding going on that we didn't see, just a tough game overall for these guys. Oh, and it looks like potentially a big militia pool here by Coldfire.
Oh yeah, and he got doubled for the militia pool. That's the worst thing that could happen. If you're getting militia, you don't want to get doubled. And yeah, this is what I was talking about. Not the best team play from the HBI side.
Yeah.
Compared to L, which is we are doing really good as a team.
Man, that was this is militia versus militia action here. Not something you see every day, but it's kind of cool to watch.
Yeah, and L and the boy, he just came here for the right time to give Boo an edge, so that he has the advantage in the army, and then he left to protect his own city. How cool is that?
That was really good, really well played. And if there was a way, I feel like Light Blue here perhaps should have set up his siege behind these trees here, so that he could siege over the top of the trees and also help out his ally in that situation.
Oh yeah, and look at that! Surge's ear trying to sneak in on another city, not going to Sims at all.
Yeah, he's taking out Purple City there. Not worrying about Sims, he's going on to other targets. He knows that if he can hurt Purple City in the background, it's basically going to steal this game for the world guys here. You can see Sims is trying to retake his original capital from way back before he moved it. But they know, for Sims right now, if you look at Sims' economy, 75 food, 60 wood income, it's just really, really tough to come back from that, losing that city early on.
It is, and I mean Dave is also doing his fair share of raiding. If you see the woodcutter camp from Noob Hunt is getting raided by the heavy cavalry there. Really nice raid, almost took out the whole woodcutter camp.
Yeah, really good rating there. You can see that there's a lot of action going on the map right now. You've also got King skirmishing with Dave here as the Greek player. And it looks like King is doing quite well. They're having a bit of a 1v1 battle there at the top on the left-hand side of the map. And all this time, it looks like Boo's pushing out with a lot of his troops. He's well and truly in Coldfire's territory now.
Oh, yep, and Boo is going all in for that. He's just like, I want that cap right now. Oh, and
Lakota's going back as well there, and Lakota's looking like, you know, Noob Hunter is finally realizing, hey, I really got to help my ally out now. I can't let him lose his cap. And you can see that Purple's coming around as well. This is a big fight between potentially all four armies here. But it does look like Boo is retreating, so Purple needs to be careful not to commit too much there. And he is retreating as well, so it was a close call, but yeah, it looks like a false.
it was a close call. I think that attack, if that attack was a few minutes before, while the Coldfire was still had small city, they could have won this, or they could have actually taken that city.
Yeah, definitely. You can see Dave's throwing out GG. It looks like the EL guys have given up here because obviously losing Sims the city there, he was in trouble, and yeah, I just said Sim City. I'm not talking about Sim City the game, but yeah, Sims did lose his city, and fortunately that kind of led to them being on the back foot. And you know, the world guys here, the best of the world, have done the world proud. You've done planet Earth proud. You've taken down EL.
Yeah, the invaders ELs. Now it's EL2 and versus one for the HBI.
Yeah, I mean maybe. Have you ever heard of a show called The Planeteers? Captain Planet and the Planeteers? I don't know. It might be an Australian thing, but I feel like they've done their planet proud today. You know, looting and polluting is not the way. So save the planet, guys. I'm just imagining them being like environmental activists. Come on, save the Earth.
Save the planet from these ale invaders. We want pure air.
These alien invaders and the Irish being Boo.
Oh yeah.
All right, so that was. Do you have any Puma?
Puma game of the moment. I think the Puma game of the moment. If L would have won this, the Puma L game of the moment would be Sims moving his capital right in time.
Yeah.
But if since HBI is winning this, I would say the Puma game of the moment would still be Surge going on and taking the boost, taking Sim City there, and leaving him helpless for the rest of the game.
Yeah, I think you got to give the Puma moment to probably to Surge there. I mean, just going in and getting that capital. It obviously caught Sims off guard because Sims was about to build his Senate on that city, in which case I guess that kind of illustrates that he definitely didn't see that coming. But yeah, overall, pretty interesting match there. But yeah, ultimately ended in the World 11. Why am I saying World 11? World 4.
World 4. Yeah. And just giving you a heads up, the game 3 has something wrong with it. So if you go to game stats, your game may crash. So be careful about that.
Oh, right. Okay, so don't go to the statistics, is that right?
Game stats, yeah, for the game 3, don't do that.
That was game 3, so game number 4?
Oh, I mean game number, oh, yeah, it's, then maybe I'm not sure. I guess I may have started game number 4. Yeah, probably I started game number 4. I don't think I would have started game number 3. But yeah, be careful with the stats.
Okay, so I might just test this now just to see in case I accidentally press something. Okay, yeah, I just tested it and it crashed the game. So
okay, awesome.
at least we know. At least we know.
At least we know.
Okay.
You'll have to restart Steam as well.
Yeah, okay, I'll restart Steam, so bear with us. I'll just make use of my OBS be right back graphic. So if you check the stream, you'll be very impressed. Okay, bear with me. Steam. So do you want to tell the audience while we're waiting and just to buy some time here about the newest member to your family, Jitin?
Oh yes, we have got a new member in my family for 7 days. It's a dog, and I guess so. I took her for a walk in the morning, but I guess somebody took her for a walk again because I'm streaming here. I couldn't tell them that I've already walked it, so that dog is walking overtime now.
Well, now you've got a new routine, so it's like having a newborn dog in your
Oh
family.
yeah, it's I won't say it's just actually this dog is the least annoying dog I've ever seen. It does not bark at random strangers. It does not make moaning noises in the night. So it's quite interesting to see this. I mean, being with this dog is so much pleasurable. I don't have to see to it. Whatever it's doing, it almost finds its own time. Always happy to do its own thing.
That's awesome.
I mean, it's very low maintenance, man. I might even adopt this.
Really, okay, it's a big thing. I'm about to adopt a newborn baby into our family, in the sense that I'll be a dad soon, but not quite the same. But I guess it's got some similarities to you know, a mouth to feed and so on.
Oh yeah, yeah. I would not say this. I mean, if this was any other dog that was really annoying, crying always, begging for attention, maybe it would be a little similar to the human baby. But I guess you've got it a lot tougher than I have here.
Oh man, it's gonna be a wild ride, but a very rewarding one at that. So hey, I've got replay number 4 ready to load again. So I will not open the stats. So I'll just pause it at the 0 second mark. Do you want me to count you down?
Oh, I'll catch up to you with the stream.
Okay, no worries. I'll just start it now. So, alright, we are game number 4. I've got to be careful not to crash the game again. But yeah, this is going to be cool. So if I don't open the stats, we'll just read out the nations manually here, so we can see what map we've got. So we have a map with a lot of rivers, also known as Old World, and the rivers are going from looks like kind of all over the shop, but mostly going from northwest to southeast, and that seems to be where the players are lining up at the moment. You've got the World 4 guys on the bottom left hand side of the map against the EL guys at the top right, and yeah, let's have a quick look at the nations first.
Oh yeah. So I'm just looking at the chat from EL, and to be honest, they've got all the defensive nations that are possibly there. Maybe I would say the least exciting nations to have. They've got all those Egyptians, Chinese, Koreans, and Spanish. That has to, if, yeah, maybe just put in Russia there, and that would be the actually the least exciting nations that ever exist in Rise of Nations history.
Oh my god. So let's recap. Okay, so World 4 have Germans, British, Indians, and Iroquois. I feel like no complaints there. 4 really solid teams. And then on the other side, just to recap again, we've got Koreans, Egyptians, Chinese, and Spanish. Yeah, that is the absolute pids. I mean, they've got a dog's breakfast of nations right now.
This is, I mean, Germans for Surge again, British here, Indians, Iroquois. I would say this is probably the top, like, best nations versus the worst nations.
Man, if you want to be the best, you got to beat the best with the worst nations possible. And if the EL guys really want to prove that they've got what it takes, the game's just giving them a bit of a handicap to see what they can do. Because
yeah, let's see this.
Honestly, I think the only way they could win this game is if the World 4 consisted of Grax, Bronto. Okay, I feel harsh. I'm not going to say Clan Hater.
I feel hurt. Clan Hater, yeah, Clan. Hey, Clan Hater, if you're watching this, please follow our channel. We do not pick on you normally.
Please follow and like, and make sure you don't dislike all the videos on YouTube.
Yeah, like somebody's been doing on my videos.
There's always one guy or 2 guys that always do that, and I suspect that whoever we talked shit about the last time. So it might have been Grax actually. I probably mentioned his name a few times, but we love you, Grax. So
Yeah, we love you, Grax. Grax is actually a big motivation for people who have been playing and still not improving. Like Grax has been there all the time, and he never gives up. That's what I like about him.
Well, that's the good thing about Grax is like Grax is really useful to all of our games because you know when you have someone who just joins the lobby and joins your game and you're just like, man, we want you to play, but we just don't have anyone to balance you with. And then Grax joins the game and you're like, oh, okay, perfect.
Oh, thank you.
Split, please. Team one. So.
Oh man. Here and there's something to point out. Boo is against Germans. Germans, one of the fastest. Maybe they're almost as fast as Japanese. They could possibly be faster than Japanese with good amount of ruins. So I'm expecting a military one or at least a commerce one military one build from Surge on this side.
Yeah, I think Surge is, and that's more in his style too. He's quite aggressive by nature. I feel like Coldfire is just such a, you think Coldfire, you think boom, you think Coldfire, you think gunpowder rage at 20-minute mark. But when I think Coldfire, I don't think of military one or any kind of crazy raid or crazy rush. And that's just his reputation, just his style of playing. Whereas, Surge, he's not like that. He's not an open book. He's pretty much mixes it up depending on whatever he feels like doing in the particular game, based on the rares and based on the nations he's got and based on the map positioning. And as you said, I think once he scouts that he's got an opponent so close, I mean, he obviously knows that there's a capital reasonably close by because of the border push there. But I mean, if he identifies that there's a good raiding opportunity against the Korean woodcutter line here, I think he's going to go for it.
Oh yeah, he is. Well, something strange. Surge is going for commerce. Civic 1. That's different from every prediction I made.
What?
And that again brings up your point about Surge being unpredictable, not doing what's the meta for a civilization.
He is, man, and that's the worst thing. I just said that, and then we both tried to predict what he was going to do after I just said he was unpredictable. And this is what happens. Get made to look like an absolute mug. But I mean, what do you think of going Civic here? Do you think that was a tactical move on behalf of Surge? I'm just trying to figure out what his rationale was. Maybe to secure that mountain, because this map can be quite limited in metal production later on, so perhaps that was the reason.
Well, that could be it. I'm not sure, but because he still has a mountain behind. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure. It's going to be tricky to come up with an explanation for that.
Yeah, maybe he just felt.
Oh
like
yeah.
I don't have any reason. He just had a feeling. I was like, oh, I want this city, and I'm going to build it. And I guess if nothing else, it gives him access to, there's only one person going to build their city in that location. If you build it first, it means that Korea's not going to build it. And if he's up against Boo as Koreans, I mean, Koreans can border push quite easily. They can be a real pain in the ass sometimes, especially if they can get the temple up and maybe build Civic 2 and build another one further up to the right-hand side. So maybe that was the rationale. Who knows? We'll have to ask Surge next time we talk to him.
Oh yeah. Anyway, everybody's doing fine here. We are seeing a military one build from commerce one military one from Noob Hunt here.
Yeah, Noob Hunt. So Noob Hunt's gone for a good build here, I think, for Iroquois, which is going for nice early barracks, getting that scout out nice and early, try and find some ruins, and also scout what your opponents are doing. And then get some really deadly raids going. I wonder how many spearmen he might spam here, but I'm hoping it'll be many, many spearmen, because there's nothing more I love to see than Iroquois just running around the map, taking out merchants and doing all sorts of damage.
Oh yeah, and especially looking at Sims who, Purple just saw the Iroquois scout. I actually think that was not the best way to find out about Iroquois, but White is lucky that his scout was not seen earlier. So now his raid is not ruined completely. And Sims kind of is in out of spot here. Sims does not have the food to get military one, so he's not going to be putting down barracks anytime sooner.
No, he's going to need to rely on one of his teammates to probably help him here. But I mean, the closest teammate's purple, or maybe blue, and blue has gone for military one actually. So it looks like it looks like Dave will be the savior here, trying to save those gems. But he's putting his merchant down, and it looks like at the same time he's putting that down, there are 2 spearmen coming his way. That merchant is, he runs away just in time.
Just in time, yes, he does.
But they're pretty fast. They're going to chase this merchant down, and I don't know if he'll be able to garrison it in time.
Yeah, but he's got a barracks here, so he might be able to use some archers to defend.
Oh man, yeah, it looks like he must play there by Dave. He's, for now at least, he's saved the merchant and managed to basically take some pot shots at these heavy infantry. Being Iroquois, they'll be able to run away probably without getting killed, but that river's going to slow him down though.
Oh, yep, it is.
Oh, one more arrow. Oh no.
Oh, one more arrow. No, he's going to survive that.
Just got away. But it looks like those gems are going to go down though. So that's going to put the World 4 team down a bit here. They're going to possibly lose 2 merchants here.
Oh yeah, they will. Even though King is getting a tower behind, I'm just not sure how well it's going to work out.
Yeah, some nice raiding here. Both Surge and White as well are both going for some nice early raids, and they just took out another merchant on the left-hand side of the map. So far I feel like the momentum is going with the world guys here in the early stages of this match.
Ooh, I would say it's still close. That fight for gems is going to be very important in this game, because if that tower is completed, that means that the best 4 team gets to hold gems for the rest of the game, and with gems, it makes your life so much easier.
Oh, gems is awesome. It just gives you a bit more of a buffer, and it does look like oh yeah. Also, the EL guys have Spain on their team, so they know where all the rares are. I could just see that Sims had pinged the map where the diamonds are for the World 4 guys, and they're probably going to get raided at some point. Nothing protecting those diamonds for the time being, but it's quite far behind on the map, right at the very top there.
And I don't even see any raiding units from EL, so maybe not in the recent future.
No, exactly. And the irony there is that basically that tower was going to burn down that King built, but then he took the gems. That gave him enough border push to keep his tower alive. So there's a symbiotic relationship between those gems and that tower. The gems need the tower, and the tower needs the gems. Let's hope that one of them doesn't die, because it'll take the other one with it.
Oh yeah, and look at that sugar being raided behind. Really nice move. It's like Noob Hunt and Surge are adding on their armies so that they can get rid of the sugar. Really good move there.
Yeah, this is like pro wrestling, like a bit of a tag team there between the 2 units of Germans and Iroquois. But yeah, you can see that Dave's shooting at this gems merchant from a distance now. I don't know if he'll get the range to get it. It looks like only King's merchant will survive, the one that he needed for that symbiotic relationship I talked about. But yeah, the other merchant was, there's just no space for it, and unfortunately got sniped.
Oh yeah, and remember, they've also got the Colossus here. So he's doing pretty well for now. I would even say he's set up for a long game.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at Dave, I mean, in my opinion at least, when you got a Colossus in the hands of a player like Dave, you just feel like, you know that Dave's going to be really smart with using it. He's going to make the most of it, and it's probably going to turn into a massive force. Whereas some other players just aren't quite as effective with Colossus. I haven't seen Dave play with Colossus too much, so I must admit this is probably the first time in quite some time. Normally he plays as Russians or some really bad defensive nation like Maya in the early game, and you can see his defensive skills in action. But I mean, obviously having Colossus really lends itself to a big boom game, and trying to mass up a massive army.
Oh yeah, and I want to bring your attention here to the second city from Sims. It's so exposed. If you look at it, it can be easily doubled or tripled right now because Dave City is it's kind of behind a river. I don't think it's a good target to be attacking, or maybe even the second city of Dave. It's so far away from everybody else that it can be doubled as well. I think both orange and white are in a perfect position to double either of them, and EL team will not know who hit them.
Yeah, I mean that tower that was built by King just near those gems, it's basically separated any chance of moving troops through that passageway. And as you said, I mean, if they just consolidate, I mean, white and orange can pretty much take their pick because there's just such a geographic disadvantage having that mountain in the middle of blue and green. Yeah, I mean, this is basically they can pick and choose what they want to do, and they could even attack both, and basically wait for the other guys to move their troops around, and then sneak across and take out the other one.
Oh yeah, really good setup for the other side, and for here light blue and red. I guess it's going to be difficult to pick between Korea and China because one has big city, one has heal that repair. So yeah, really difficult to pick here. If I was Surge or Cold Fire, I would just rather focus on tripling somebody on the other side who are more vulnerable, like the Spanish or Egyptian player.
Yeah, looks like Surge has gone for a fairly aggressive build. He skipped Science and has gone straight for Mill 2. So probably, yeah, it looks like he's building his second catapult now as well. Going to start sieging on Seoul. And I mean, obviously, Boo will be able to repair, I'm sure, for quite some time. But, you know, every time you repair, it does cost resources. And if you can get 3 sieges constantly attacking the same city, you can't afford to just repair it forever. Eventually, your economy is just going to get hurt too much. So I do suspect that that's probably Surge's plan here is almost starve Boo out and yeah, reduce that city, apply lots of pressure.
Oh yeah, and Surge, his catapults are on the river. That's the worst place to be to be caught by archers. Oh man, he just lost a catapult for nothing.
Oh man,
That was
yeah, not looking good. We might be slightly out of sync. I'm at the 14-minute and 10-second mark,
okay.
but that's okay. And yeah, he does lose that catapult, so yeah, maybe he just jumped the gun a little bit. I thought he was going to attack Seoul there, but he did end up going for that city. And as you said, he got stranded on that river, which really makes it hard. I mean, this particular map, it can be quite brutal if you do get your troops stuck in the wrong position because there's just no ability to kind of move back and yeah, try and regather your thoughts.
Oh yeah, definitely. And the terrain is completely in favor of Boo. Yeah, as I said before, I don't think attacking him is a right choice.
Yeah, I mean, so just got quite a few units too, just raiding in the back of the map here. He's got 4 units, 2 slingers, a heavy infantry, and an archer as well. And he might be able to pick up a couple of raids here, but there is a tower protecting that sugar, and so that's definitely going to help their team a lot in defending that raid.
Oh yeah, for sure. Surge still does not have the science one, and he actually has not doesn't have as good an economy as the Korean player here. But he is leading in terms of knowledge, but nothing else.
Is that Surge, you mean? Or
Yes. Surge is leading in knowledge, but I mean, from a German player, I would expect him to be maxing out his 150 commerce already.
yeah, true. I mean, I think his economy is still better than Boo's. He's got more food coming in, 125 food, 145 wood. But I mean, yeah, it's, as you said, Germany is definitely an advantage. It's almost like he got gifted with a really nice nation, and yeah, hasn't quite. He's gone for more of a raiding style than economic.
And you look here, finally we are getting to see the second city being sieged down. I think
Yeah,
these guys should just start and attacking the city while they have that army's advantage. And you know what's funny? King has his siege factory right here. Do you see?
yeah,
It's his siege factory is so close, so it's like it gives an impression that they're going to attack Dave, while actually they're going to attack Green. That's such a nice, yeah, that's a nice fake there.
yeah, exactly. And I mean, this has had the unintended effect. It's actually brought across three armies here. You've got Boy's army as
Oh,
well, and so
yeah.
they're not going to be able to capture the city. There's just three armies there waiting. This could almost be a trap. It's like EL have laid a trap, and the World 4 guys might walk into it here. They're
Yeah,
not.
and they have it on ambush. LN is on ambush,
Yeah,
so he cannot actually see that.
yeah, that is dangerous. I mean, I feel like sometimes ambush helps you, but other times it hinders you. If your
Oh
troops
yeah,
don't attack straight away, it definitely is circumstantial. But in this case, yeah, not always good when you're having a straight up engagement like this.
yeah, you're right. And again, as I said, just bad teamwork here. Uh, the green was supposed to get doubled, but instead these guys got tripled. And that's when it's really required that you have a coordination with your team. Um, oh man, I feel so bad for these guys. They had a perfect setup right here. 6 elephants for king.
Yeah, I mean, six elephants, that's definitely a tough force to be reckoned with. And this elephant's going forward a bit. It's going to be got to be careful here. It doesn't get bribed. It looks like purple's getting forced back, or is just walking back for no particular reason. It feels like Coldfire's not really applying pressure. He's almost, well, he's booming quite strong, but he's not applying pressure. So that's giving the EL guys the freedom to move around and triple basically against that attack just then.
And I think what Coldfire is doing here finally. I mean, he's coming here to triple. I think that is the right thing to do, because to try to attack that Chinese city while Boo can easily repair that without damages. It's just better to triple somewhere where it's worth putting your forces. I just hope these guys triple this city when they have the time. Coldfire and Surge both are aging to medieval, so it's a perfect time. They have the technology advantage. They have the numbers. They should be taking him out.
Yeah, I agree. And I mean, with the benefit of what we can see right now, I would find it really nice if they could somehow sneak all their armies across and attack Dave's capital at Thebes and take out that Colossus. But I mean, it's hard to tell if they
No,
will.
there are so many buildings here. I think it'll be a kind of suicide
But that,
to go
yeah,
there.
that's true. Yeah, it would definitely be a risky move, and perhaps be a make or break situation where they lose the entire game or they win it. Um, but I mean, that mountain in the middle is just, it makes it so hard to reinforce behind it. It looks like King is moving quite far into Dave's territory. Dave is falling back here, probably just getting a little bit unnerved by those elephants just casually wandering around in his territory, doing
Oh
nothing
yeah.
but going on a bit of a sightseeing tour here.
This city she here is so much exposed. I bet this could. I mean, King alone could take it right now.
Yeah,
The only problem is that King doesn't know about this location. So yeah, he doesn't know that there is a city. I mean, he doesn't know the exact spot. So kind of not working for him as much as I would expect.
well, I did feel like, in the last game we played on Watering Hole, there was that city which I suspected could potentially have been maybe a bit racist, and then we've got a city over here which could be sexist, you could argue. I'm not
Oh
sure.
yeah, it's only for females. What kind of cities do you make? Anyway, just pointing out here, Surge is marching on to Seoul
Oh,
here.
yeah, wow,
With
huge.
everything he has got, everything.
Oh, this is a massive attack here by Surge. He needs to get the city. Oh, he does move the capital before he could get the cap stack. So,
Oh, and all militia, but Boo has got attrition. This could be the worst exchange.
oh man,
Worst
look at
exchange
the health.
for.
Look at the health of those militia going down. Every second they're losing so much HP. And when you're playing against Koreans, Koreans can repair. And I mean, Boo's probably easily got the ability to start repairing that city if he needed to.
Yes, he has, and well, Boo has got the better exchange here.
Yeah, well played.
Time for Surge to retreat. Well played by Boo. Actually, that attrition made a lot of difference.
Yeah, it did. And I must admit, I feel like that was definitely an all in there by Surge. But did he have to do it? I'm not sure if he did. He might have felt like he was behind Boo and needed to make something happen. But on the right hand side here, I feel like the World 4 guys here, debatably, they could be winning their side. And I mean, now in the long run, Surge is pretty much going to be screwed against Boo in the medium to long term. He lost so many citizens there. His economy's yeah, down the gurgler, and the fact that his Germans might be the only hope he's got of somehow getting a rebound in his economy here.
Oh yeah, and I mean, out of everything that was possible, Surge could have doubled Chinese city with Coldfire. Or these guys could have tripled the Green city, but they are taking really bad exchanges. I would even say the worst exchanges possible.
Yeah, you can see Coldfire's building Forbidden City. Man, Coldfire, this guy loves to boom. He's such a good boomer though. I'm really impressed. It's just such a different playstyle. He's got 180 for his British income. Serge is saying in the chat, take your time. Maybe Serge is realizing now they're doing quite well on the other side, and I don't know. Do you think maybe Serge is thinking maybe I shouldn't have gone for that attack, or?
I mean, with all that river that's helping the Korean player, it's just a suicide mission. You have a better odds of attacking anybody else, anybody else, literally anybody else in this whole map except Koreans.
Yeah.
Surge should have just towered up his city and gone to the other side, protected Chinese, and I'm sure Wu would have to run back to help instead of taking Surge's city. That would have been the perfect thing for him. And same way here, if you see, finally King is going for another Dave's city, but I think he should have done that long back, because the green city that was previously vulnerable, now it has 3 towers. I don't think it's a good easy target anymore.
Yeah, I mean, White did manage to save most of his army, and Dave is kind of occupied there at the same time. It looks like Purple's doing quite well here against Coldfire.
Oh yep, and Surge loses his city. Boo is
yeah, wow, he does.
Boo is showing his magic finally.
Oh look, Boo's getting revenge here. It's Revenge of the Militia, and he's brought a shitload of militia here.
It's a lot of militia, and I bet that some of them could possibly be repairing this as well.
Oh man, that's one thing I'd like to see, is if he just turns those militia into citizens and starts repairing that city of Bonn right in front of Boo's eyes while this tower's sitting there firing away, because it's actually really effective. It doesn't repair as fast as it would if it was in your own territory once it's assimilated, but it's still quite quick. And that's a tactic you can sometimes do, is as Koreans, you take on someone's cap with militia rush, turn them into citizens, start repairing, and then build towers as soon as it finishes. It's impossible to take.
And just bring your attention to look at Coldfire's eco. You said Coldfire has the reputation for booming. Well, yes, he is living up to it for sure. He's got a massive. I mean, he's got a decent army, but at the same time, he's close to aging to gunpowder, closer than anybody else on this game right now.
Yeah, he's got 200 income coming in. All of his 3 universities are full, and he finished the Forbidden City, so he's building another university, or he probably will soon. He's not building it just yet. And yeah, he's definitely living up to his reputation as a boomer. I feel like in the long term, yeah, in the long term, he's probably going to, in theory, win this fight against Purple. But the problem for him is that it looks like Boo's just really taking control of this left-hand side of the map and slowly pushing in on Surge. And once Surge loses his capital, he actually hasn't raised his Senate either, so
I think he just started raising it.
Oh, he's sieging it now with those 3 trebuchets, so he should be fine. He can move his cap, but it's only going to buy him some time. It's probably not.
And really nice play by N the boy. He is mounting pressure there. He is not letting up. He knows that the only way to win this game is to allow Boo to do his thing. Meanwhile, keep Coldfire right here.
Yeah, exactly. That's the one thing you want to do. If you're about to kill someone, you don't want your teammates to let their foot off the gas and let the teammates reinforce and help protect. So, this is interesting though. Big elephant army here by King. He's got, I count, 11 elephants here. And there looks like there might be an engagement here. Dave is coming around for the attack. Let's see how this pans out. There's rivers in the way too, so this is quite a strange engagement.
That is. It's going to make sure that King does not retreat anymore, and they've got huge armies. I would still think that King would be better off taking the other city, because this city is not in a very favorable place for King to attack.
Yeah, I mean, I think the key advantage, if any, is just to take that Colossus, but it only depends if he can hold the city or not. If he can't hold it, maybe snipe the Colossus, but as you said, it's easier to reinforce if you went to the left-hand side. And these elephants aren't doing too well. I mean, it looks like Dave's got the perfect army. I mean, I've always wondered this, what is the perfect counter to elephants for anyone watching?
I guess some people would say it's light cavalry, but yeah, I don't think so. Sometimes actually, you know what? Heavy infantry do overpower elephants in the late game. So if you have if in a late game, if you have upgraded pikemen, the elite pikemen from gunpowder and the fusiliers from enlightenment age, they actually do really well against elephants. But before that, elephants own these heavy infantry.
Yeah, I feel like heavy cavalry also do quite well against the elephants too. But you know, elephants.
I think they're okay. They cost less than an elephant, but they still can't hold up on their own against one elephant. Like one on one, the elephant would win. But still not the worst makeup here. By the way, Noob Hunt is finally joining Sir King, and I am just asking myself, why didn't he do that already?
You can see there's a big attack here on Dave's capital.
Yeah.
He hasn't moved his cap, and they need this cap sack to make this worthwhile because basically Sims is coming in and charging this army from the top left-hand side. They're basically cornered here, and it looks like.
But Noob Hunt does not have supply. That's a big mistake to be doing when you're going into your enemy territory.
Yeah, that was harsh, and he's pretty much lost his entire army. Dave managed to move his capital as well, just beforehand to the right-hand side here. So hopefully, for his sake anyway, the other guys didn't notice that, because that city's a little bit more vulnerable, even further away from everything else. I wonder if the world guys here will identify that and perhaps try and target that city in the next 5 or 10 minutes.
Oh yeah, and White is in a very good position to take that city. Actually, I mean not Dave's city, but the Green city, and it was just not sieged down at the right time. But if Green loses that, he's going to be at a significant disadvantage there. At the same time, Coldfire has been sieging that Chinese city forever. I remember every time I see here, he's sieging that Chinese city, but it's never reduced. What is that Chinese city doing there? Like it's not even being repaired.
Maybe Boo's been sneaking a citizen in there to repair his Koreans, and we just haven't seen it. I'm not sure, because I mean it feels like he's been sieging that for the last 5 years, and it's still down to 80% health. So yeah, I mean just the back and forth there going. It looks like Surge has actually recovered quite well as well. His economy's back up and running. He definitely doesn't look like he's going to die anytime soon. So to Surge's credit, he's actually come back a lot faster than I thought he would. I thought after that all-in, it looked like an all-in. He was down and out for the count, but no, he's holding firm.
Oh yeah, and that exchange with Dave was really bad for Orange. He doesn't have as much army now. He's also nowhere close to aging compared to Dave, who I think will be aging very soon.
Yeah, you can see that White's also losing his army. He's basically up against Sims here, who has the much bigger army here. Sims is doing a great job as well. I think Sims is playing really well in this matchup against Lakota, which is not an easy matchup. And playing as Spanish, I mean Spanish, the biggest underdog nation you could possibly get, and he's really playing well.
He's really playing well. Look at that. He's got a massive army there. That's huge. And yeah, I have nothing to say. That's a huge army from Sims, and these guys have taken back the game in their hands, like very well, I would say. Coldfire still has the age advantage, and I think he should be marching on here to Chinese city while he has the advantage. Because L and the boy is also aging, and once he ages, it's going to be leveling fields. Not something that Coldfire would want.
Oh, exactly. And I mean, Surge is just retaken back his city, and then Boo says, "No, thank you very much. I'll take that back." So Boo now has the city of Bond back again, and Surge will have to retreat by the looks of it. He's got no attrition. He's got a wagon now, but he was briefly losing a lot of HP. And it looks like, yeah, White Blue Coldfire is going in for an attack here with the. Doesn't quite have the age advantage or the unit advantage at least.
Oh, yep. And Surge actually has a bigger army compared to Boo. I think he might be able to take back his city finally. And I can't believe Coldfire has not taken the city yet. Coldfire should be able to. It's a very close battle, and these if they don't win, the other side has easily lost. I don't think King and White can hold anymore. They're not close to aging. Dave has got Colossus, and he's also an age advanced.
Oh, exactly. I mean, Boo's got a few spies here as well in that battle between those two. A lot of action though. There's about 3 fights simultaneously going on here. Green's also doing a great job taking out all those production buildings for Lakota. It looks like Lakota's in a bit of trouble. Going to lose a lot of production there. But yeah, Coldfire.
You mean Iroquois?
Oh yeah, Iroquois. Sorry. Oh no. There's so many different. Yeah, Iroquois. My mistake. I'm getting mixed up with the previous game.
Oh yeah, I mean, this is what I have been waiting for. You see, when L has such a nice coordination, when they attack, they all attack at the same time. Boo is involved there. Purple is involved here. Green and blue. I mean, and yellow. Everybody is involved right now. It's not nobody from the HBI team has any chance to help somebody else. But that I can't say the same thing for HBI, because every time they attacked, it was kind of out of sync, which let the other team take advantage of that, double the aggressor, and even the odds that are there.
Yeah, exactly right. And just in case anyone's just tuned in, this is a best of 7 series. The current score, obviously, before this match was played, this particular game was 2 to EL, to the world being 1, and then whoever wins this, obviously, it'll either be 2-2 or 3-1 in favor of EL.
Oh yeah, and I'm Dave is looking strong on his side. I guess it's going to come down to who dies first, whether it's going to be purple or green or orange, and between red and yellow, I don't know, because actually Boo has, even though he has a little lesser army than Surge, but Boo is going to age. And that gives him a much better advantage.
Man, you can see that. Yeah, this is quite interesting because Green here has a big army, but from a technology point of view, not even close to getting to gunpowder age. Meanwhile, you've got Coldfire has a huge army in the sense that he's got a nice army going, but he's also got all of his armor upgrades. He's got military 4, and he's also got the Monarch.
Monarch. Yes, he's got everything.
Which is exactly what you want. And it sounds like your dog's cheering for us as well.
Yes, the dog is cheering. He wants the world team to win.
I'm sure the dog loves the world as well. And yeah, cheering for the underdogs here. It looks like Coldfire is doing a great job. And I must admit, I'm obviously got to be impartial and unbiased, but secretly I would like to see Coldfire do some damage here, because I feel like their team has been on the back foot a bit here for most of the game.
Oh yeah, he is, and he's got 4 seeds. I think he's in a perfect position to take out anybody right now. I think he's got the bigger army than anybody. As long as he preserves his army, he can win.
Yeah, you can see. It looks like someone's putting down some serious bribes here. I think it might be Boo. Oh, GG! Wow. Boo's calling out GG.
Whoa!
Is that a premature GG right there?
I don't know for who it is, because it easily looks like they can still win it. I won't call it a GG. Oh yeah. No, wait, King called the GG. So I mean, if King resigned right now, I would not be satisfied, because I think these guys, their team still has got a chance.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Especially with Surge and Coldfire being dominant here.
Yeah, I was gonna say that would that would not be an opportune time for Boo to say GG. That's why I was thinking. I know Coldfire's got a nice army, but I wouldn't go quite that far. But yeah.
I think Surge started that. Surge said GG.
Oh, I think no, I think King did
Oh,
actually.
I mean King did, yeah. So
Yeah, yeah.
King has lost hopes. It's like, yeah, he's almost dead. He has nothing there.
And I mean, just a tip for anyone out there watching: don't be that guy. Don't be King. Don't be the guy that says GG before you talk to
Before your team dies, yeah, talk to your team. Make sure because you don't want the other team to get that feeling that you're going to lose, because that just boosts their morale and they feel they have a better chance of winning.
Yeah, exactly. Unless it was some elaborate strategy where you're trying to get
Yeah,
the
but
EL guys to relax. but,
oh yeah, unless that, yeah, that's
but yeah, no, I mean, generally speaking, it's not a good idea. Oh, it does look like Surge is going for Boo's capital here.
capital. Yes, he is going for that.
Oh my god. And,
That's an amazing move right there.
oh, he's moving back though. I'm not sure why. Surge, you got to attack that city, man. Get that cap sack. You're only going to get one chance, and once Boo's army comes across, good luck to your army. It's probably all going to die. So.
Oh yeah, and he just has two two trebuchets. I'm not sure, not the best position for a Surge to be in. On the other side, I would expect Coldfire to be winning. He just called Coldfire there. Yes, and I don't know why they didn't do that in the first place. Why wouldn't you just both go to the capital if it's so isolated, and there's not even a castle or tower there? Oh,
And it
awesome.
does go down. So capital has gone down for both Noob Hunt and for Boo here. So Boo can bleed after all. He has lost his capital here as Koreans. But I mean, nice sneak attack by Surge. It looks like Boo is going to clean this up, most likely at least. He's got enough archers here probably to mop this up. And looks like White Blue's coming across though. So this actually, it might still be a finely balanced game. I mean, it depends on how Coldfire can use this army right now. And because if Coldfire can knock out Boo's army here and then retake that capital, there's no way that Boo can move that Senate. He's trying to raise it, but it's only 5% raised.
Oh yeah, and look at that. If you look at Coldfire has boomed so much. I don't know. He and Dave, they have really nice boom going on. Coldfire is going to be ready for Enlightenment Age within next 5 minutes.
Yeah, this is going to be a classic case of a bit of a tech rush here, and two players just with huge armies and huge tech advantages. Surge throwing out the GG. Ooh, I think that might be premature as well.
I don't know, but maybe Coldfire should have attacked the capital instead of staying here.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I guess the score does tell a story here. They do have a much higher score, so maybe Dave's army is just way too big. He does.
Oh yeah, and well,
but that's
looks like that's it. It's going to be. Oh man, yeah, Coldfire could have. I think there was an ample opportunity to take out Boo at least. And once Boo was dead, they would be Dave Sims and Boy versus these three. Another thing I don't know is why wouldn't Noob Hunt move his capital, because it was clear that they were losing that side. I still think it was closer than these guys thought. They had a possibility to win in this game in the end.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the score at the end there, and the biggest standout on the score graph is that trajectory of Dave. Coldfire was ahead for pretty much most of the game, not by much, but by a bit. And then you can just see at the very end that Dave, his score just shot up, and the score it's just a generic benchmark, but it does kind of usually tell a fairly accurate story of who was doing well. And I can see in the background there's someone waving on the camera behind you. Hello.
Yeah, that's my girlfriend. She is just.
Maybe she's trying to get your attention. So just let us know if you need a few minutes to gather your thoughts.
No, we're fine. So yeah, actually, Kron, will you be up for some Counter-Strike after this? I may be playing in 1 hour.
Some Counter-Strike.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean.
And I have got Counter-Strike in her computer as well, so she will be joining us as well.
Oh, nice. Oh my god. Don't read the chat right now. That's all I can say.
Yes, I'm
Yeah.
not.
No.
Anyway, time for the fifth game, and this reminds me a lot about of the semi-final game. I mean, the grand finale between Forwali and EL. It started with a 2-0, then 2-1, then a 3-1, and EL won the fifth game. Let's see if this is going to be the same in this one. Let's get right into it.
Yeah, let's do it. All right. So, EL versus the world. Game number 5. Thankfully, that game didn't crash. All right. Do you want me to just start and you'll catch up?
Yes.
So it's 3-1 so far to EL in this best of 7. So EL only need to win one more game, and they close out the series against the best of the World 3, and they've retracted down from 4v4 down to 3v3 again. So let's look at the lineups. We've got
and something I want to talk about something. I mean, last game was, I can't believe the HBI team lost that. It was almost like they were set up for that game. They had the best of the nations versus the worst of the nations in the EL team, and yeah, as I said, it all comes down to the team coordination in the end, and that's not the best team coordination we saw from HBI.
Yeah, I mean that's a good point. I mean EL just seems to keep winning despite the nations, despite the rares. They really didn't have, they weren't really gifted anything with a silver spoon in that game. They kind of just made it happen. I mean, Dave had Colossus being Egyptians, but I feel like Colossus is not really that good of a wonder on that particular map when you compare it to the water.
I would say Egyptians were still not bad, but Spanish, I don't know. and Sims is stuck with Spanish again in this game.
Yeah. No, I think Sims did well. Spanish. Really, I think that game was won and lost on strategy as opposed to anything else. And there were opportunities there for the guys on the right-hand side of the map from the world team to probably double a bit more efficiently. And I think the other thing too is that having Coldfire on your team, it's kind of good and bad. It's good because if you get to the late game, he's probably going to have an awesome army, but it's not so good in the early to mid game because you know that he's not going to really probably apply much pressure, and your opponents can take advantage of that and either double or triple you, or basically defend and gang up on you as well.
Oh yeah, and that's what we've been seeing all this game, because Coldfire has not been very dependable on in terms of fast attacks. He's not been able to mount pressure, and that's why whenever the HBI team attacked early, they never had any luck with that. Especially when it depended on team coordination. No, they have never had any good luck with that.
Yeah, exactly right. And so far, it seems like Dave has the better ruins bonuses so far. He's got 100 ruins, as opposed to Coldfire's got 0. So already taking a bit of an economic advantage. But let's look at the nation. So we've got EL. They've got a mixed bag of nations here. They've got Boo with Lakota, Sims with Spanish, and Dangerous Dave with Dutch. What do you think about Spanish and Dutch here? We know how good Lakota is.
Well, again, Spanish, the only good thing about Spanish is they know all the rare resources, and they can, if they scout a lot, I think Spanish can have the fastest starts out of any nation. But doesn't look like Sims is scouting as heavily as a Spanish player should. But anyway, Spanish, I really consider them as a generic civilization. Apart from that, maybe on Watering Hole they're good for the free ships, but yeah, they don't stand out too well. Of course, I would like somebody to be in my team as Spanish so that I can know where the rare resources are. But apart from that, I can't think of anything good. Dutch can be really good in the late game, and again I say late game because that's when you start amassing up a lot of resources, and those resources help you generate extra because the Dutch get extra resource income for every 50 or 100 you have in your inventory. Apart from that, I guess the armed caravans and merchants are something. I really like to have armed merchants in my team, somebody in my team to have armed merchants, so that that gives a kind of assurance against your rare resources. Because if you want to take out an armed merchant, you have to send a heavy cavalry or a heavy infantry, and that makes it kind of predictable what your opponent's going to send, so you can have a preemptive defenses set up.
Yeah, that's so true. And I mean, archers as well. Is it right that archers can take out an armed merchant from range?
Hey, good luck with that, eh?
Oh yeah. So I've seen that when I try to attack archers, attack the armed merchants with archers. Sometimes while they're in the range, they lose the line of sight, so they stop attacking just because it's out of line of sight, and that's kind of weird.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's a good point. Because, I mean, it's something that I've seen before. I think archers have more range than armed merchants do. But, yeah, I've seen the same thing. Sometimes my armed merchant will take out archers, and I'm like, how did you even do that? So, it's definitely handy having armed merchants. It's kind of like you said. I feel like Dutch and Spanish are both great nations for your teammate to be, but not for you to be.
Not for you to be.
Yeah, because you're helping out all your teammates, but for you personally, your economy is going to be a lot slower, generally speaking, and yeah, you've got no hope if you spawn next to Japs or Germans or something like that. You know that you're always going to be extremely on the back foot in the early game.
Oh yeah, definitely. Here, Serge started with a Civic 2 again, and I don't really blame him. With Persians, it's just so tempting to get Civic first. But I guess Sims is not doing as well. Sims is a little behind. He's just getting his market down compared to Serge, who will probably be research. Yeah, he's already going to research commerce very soon.
Yeah, I mean Persians, Iroquois, and Koreans. This is going to be, I think, fairly even. I mean, I feel like Lakota's the only super nation here. If there was such a thing as a super nation, I just made that word up. Where do you think Lakota or Boo might place his second city? Or where would you like?
Yeah, it's going to be very tricky. I would like to see it close to the gems, which is next to Coldfire City.
Yep.
Yeah, if he can take care of, like, capture that gems, that just keeps Dave and Boo in a very nice position to gang up on Coldfire there. And if you see, he actually has got his villagers there, so maybe that's what he's planning to do. Oh no, he's not. I get confused. So it's actually King who has his villagers there. I don't think Boo has any of his villagers right there. He does have this civic upgrade going, and assuming that he would want to get his villagers right next to where he wants to get his second city, I don't see any conspicuous villagers being placed on a strategic site. So I don't know. Maybe he just didn't think it through. He doesn't have any villagers out there waiting for the civic to complete.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just trying to figure out how this game might progress, because it's old world again, and old world it can be quite difficult to rush on this map with so many rivers, and there's a big river between Surge and Sims here, which is kind of, I mean, Surge has got a bit of an interesting spot here. He's got almost like a moat. It's like a castle with a moat around it at Persepolis.
Mm-hmm.
But then his farms are kind of exposed to an attack, but he's up against Spain, so it's almost like just a strange situation to be in. He's literally got nowhere else to build except towards his enemy here. He's building a tower there, which I think is a good move, because the last thing you want to do there is, in Surge's position, is to wake up and find your opponent's built a tower that's firing your library and probably your farm too.
You are right, because that would be a perfect place to have your tower. If Sims were to get a tower, and he would be able to snipe out the library, and he would also be able to mount pressure there. So I think it's a great move by Surge to get a preemptive tower.
Yeah, exactly. And sorry, this is Amazon actually. My mistake. Is that right? It's not
yes, that's Amazon. If you see so many trees on the edges, yes, that is it.
Yeah, very true. I think when casting a best of 7, once you get to the 5th match, you start to lose your ability to be sharp.
That's right. Yeah, best of sevens are actually very strenuous to cast, and also glad that these guys were able to get it to best of seven. I mean, I'm sure it takes a lot more to be playing as best of seven than to be casting a best of seven.
Oh, exactly right. I mean, it's a long. Rise of Nations is an incredibly taxing game. You need to always be thinking on your feet and always moving, and a lot of APM using your mouse. So yeah, once you get to the, this is the fifth game, and there's potentially another 2 games depending on how this goes. So yeah, I mean, I must admit, we've never seen it so far. In the first best of 7 we did, that got to 5 games, but I'm sure when we get a best of 7 that goes all the way, the players in game 7 are going to be so mentally exhausted. It's going to come down to like who has the will to win and who can focus.
Oh yeah, right. Who has the will to do more clicks? That's like clicks in a day after you're playing 7 games.
I feel like the team that wins is like the team that's like their hand just doesn't fatigue and they're just able to like, come on, a few more clicks, come on guys, just spam a few more palms, and then one guy just passes out and then they just GG and say sorry.
And he's like somebody resigned in age 1. Like, you know how it happens in Rocket League. In Rocket League, if you are inactive, the game boots you. Like something like that, if happened with Rise of Nations.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah, the guy just passes out, and then Netflix is like, "Are you still there?" Because you haven't said anything on Netflix for 2 hours. It's like, oh, sorry, you're gonna get booted. Yeah, no, I think hopefully it doesn't come to that. I mean, let's wait and see. But I mean, I'm sure the World 3 used to be the World 4. They want to do the world proud here, and bring this back to a 7th match. And to do that, they need to win this match and the next one. So, I guess they got to focus on one thing at a time.
Oh yeah, and yeah, something to point out here. Surge, who is known for never getting science, this time he has used Pappy to get 2 sciences.
Yeah, I mean that's quite a good move. I mean, a big investment early on, but when you've got the ability to do that, it really does set you up. What's your opinion on going Science 2 before going Age 2 on land maps? I'm just curious.
So I am 100% sure the Surge master plan right now is to get to medieval age as soon as possible and launch that attack. And with that, I mean, with that Pappy, of course, Science 2 was a very good move, and then he's got relics right next to it. So I have no doubt that he's going to be aging to medieval faster than anybody else.
Yeah, I feel like if you go Science 2, yeah, definitely rushing medieval is the best bet. Often you do it with Greeks. More often you skip Civic 2 and just go straight for Age 3. But you don't see it too often with other nations. But yeah, I'm going to be excited to see this. This can be a bit of a litmus test for us, especially against Spain, which Spain and being Sims playing as Spain. Was Sims the player that played as Spain in the last match?
Yes, he was Spain in the last match.
Shit. Well,
so
this could work out well for him.
He did really well with Spain last time. Let's see if he can do a similar thing here. And look at Sim's Senate placement. If his Senate is being placed right in a position where so that it blocks Surge. So in case Surge wants to attack from this side, he'll have to first destroy the Senate, or just have to walk through that small tight space. So I really like that kind of move from Sims.
Yeah, I like that move too. I feel like maybe he could have built it over a little bit to the left-hand side to completely block off that passage, because that would pretty much guarantee that he would have to kill the Senate to get through there. So not a bad spot. I mean, you could probably make an argument that he could have built his capital behind as well and just removed any threat. But I mean, that's a pretty good move. I think it's not going to be too dangerous for him.
Oh yeah. And let's see here, stable coming from Surge. He's also getting 2nd military, so that does not sound like the build order for somebody who's getting to Age 3 as soon as possible.
Right.
Yeah, I think if he was going to boom or like get to go for a medieval age attack, maybe he should get a civic. He would get the civic, the cheap civic, get down the 3rd city, and then start his attack in the medieval. But anyway, he's also getting a siege factory there, so it looks like he doesn't want to wait till medieval, or at least he wants to start mounting pressure early.
Yeah, I feel like the problem I've had in the past when you go for a quick medieval is that unfortunately, just because you're medieval doesn't necessarily mean you can do anything with it. You need to have an economy to obviously build units and have an army to upgrade, because just getting a medieval on its own doesn't really accomplish too much.
Oh yeah, you're right. So in case you're planning for an early attack, the best thing you can do is to have an army and at least 2 siege ready the moment you age, so that you don't give any time for your opponent to age and start massing up army and or even get his units upgraded. So that's the ideal thing to do. There's something I want to point out here that Sims does not have science yet, and Sims also went for Despot, so he's in for a very bad game if Surge goes to medieval, which he is going to be very soon.
Yeah, this is really not good because Despot is just so slow economically. Generally, when you go Despot, you don't invest a lot into universities, and he hasn't got a university yet. And I mean, Spain is just a tough nation to play as, but he hasn't got the worst draw here coming up against Persia. Persia's not bad, but you know, it's not. It could be worse. It could be a worse nation than that. But I mean, Serge is playing this pretty well, and if he can get to age 3 fairly soon, he doesn't have enough food though at the moment.
And yeah, again, something as we were talking about not having the perfect team coordination. Can you see what Yellow is doing?
Oh, wow! Massive army here from Boo, and Boo is going in for that second capital of Surge.
Yeah, and this is like, I mean, while Surge himself is a good player, Cold King is good a player, but I don't think these guys had any master strategy in mind, because if they did, then they would have some kind of thing working out. But it looks like King just came here because he saw that army. It's not like he had any plan to double Sims initially.
Oh, exactly. I mean, and there are militia in this army too. There's 8 militia. I don't think that's all of his troops. It's just all of the troops he had that were close by. But yeah, it looks like Boo is possibly going to retreat. I would like to see him at least get the sack here. It's not a cap sack, so to speak, but you still get a decent amount of plunder from it.
Oh yeah, and the city with the Senate has been taken, so you know what that means. That means that nobody's going to be moving capitals anytime.
Oh, exactly.
I mean, at least Surge is not going to be moving capitals anytime. So this did not work out so well. Again, yeah, caught out of position. White is not in a position to help Surge. I think Surge could have easily won a 1v1 with Sims here, but with Boo in the picture and that perfect team coordination, I mean, a despot from Sims. I did not read their chats, but I'm sure they planned it.
Yeah, exactly. It looks like, and King's kind of hit the panic button here, probably feeling a bit sheepish that he was caught napping there with his army out of position, and he's coming in with all of his militia, but I think Boo is happy just to sit there with militia of his own and hold this city for the time being. I mean,
oh yeah, and yeah, just pointing out, look at Sims capital.
Yep.
Look at Sims capital.
Yeah, wow, Surge could get revenge here. There's no better dish served cold than revenge, and he looks like he's going straight from Madrid. And oh my god, Sims is pulling all of his militia as well. Looks like Sims has enough here to prevent the capture.
Oh
my god.
That's close, that's close.
That is very close. Oh my god, it does go down. Shit. That's a massive moment. If he hadn't got that cap sack, it's probably GG for Surge, but no, he does get this. He does get the sack, so he's going to be able to spam some more elephants and get the age. But his economy is definitely in shambles right now.
And he just clicked on medieval age. So you know what? If he reaches medieval age, that Madrid is going to be converted to a large city, and it's going to be a while before a Sims can.
Yep.
Oh man, I mean, a master stroke by Surge there. Who would have expected that you would take somebody else's capital whilst your own is at stake there?
Oh, that's so satisfying to watch, to see that city go big, or at least it would be satisfying for anyone cheering on the world team here. If there's anyone out there in the world cheering on this world team, surely there's someone. He does get that capital big, and that's that's the task of retaking that city has just gone up incredibly. I mean, he's now Boo's actually coming across, and Boo's men are bleeding here. He's losing a lot of health on his militia, and all his units for that matter. But Boo does have a decent army, and he should be able to reduce this capital in time. They've got 4 minutes, so there's no rush. And in another circumstance, they probably could have held this capital, but given that, Surge just doesn't have enough units here. Oh, Green's coming across though. What's going on? This is
That's just perfect. That's just perfect. I mean, getting the. In fact, if I was Cold Fire, I would even send a villager to start repairing Madrid. Because if Sims dies, that's it. Who cares if Dave has a Colossus and is aging? Who cares, man? That's game over right there.
Exactly. I love the world guys are doing what they got to do now. They're taking care of business, and to take care of business, they just need to kill all these units and hold the city. And 2v3s. Who cares if you're up against Colossus, as you said, man? They're going to win the long game. So, this is going to come down to the wire. But yeah, it looks like Dave's saying in chat. Yeah, sorry, like from Dave's perspective, there's no way he can really help it. They do retake the cap though.
Oh yeah, but I mean, Surge is strong here. I don't know. Maybe even Boo. Actually, yeah, Boo is not Boo is close to aging, but I don't know how his aging is going to help anything here. Surge doesn't have a good eco. I don't know why he wouldn't use some of his eco to get villagers. I mean, some of the plunder that he got. But anyway, the Cold Fire he's helping a lot, and that was the first. This is the first time that I'm seeing a great team coordination. Meanwhile, Dave is attacking the other side. Cold Fire's city is being sieged by three siege units.
Yeah, it looks like Dave's pretty much, he's too far out of position. All his infrastructure is too far away. There's no way he can really reinforce unless he walks halfway across the map. And by the time he gets there, it's probably too late. So I think he's got to just try and make it happen on the right-hand side here and try and take out one of these capitals if he can. Taking on Koreans, though, we've seen this before. Always a tough ask. And I feel like, if you're supporting the world guys right now, you've got to think they've got a really decent chance of somehow winning this. It doesn't look like Coldfire is turning around now and going back home.
Oh yeah, and just pointing out something on the chat, we've got Petrika, who he says that he was Baby Killer, and Baby Killer was an Ind player long back, and he was really good. So yeah, Petrika, if you have some time, please, I would love to see you play again. Let's play some Nomads. In fact, you could even join the Ind team right now. We are understaffed at this moment.
You're taking applications, job applications?
Yes. Oh yes, job applications in. Good experience required.
And is there any requirement? Do you have to have any affiliation to?
Well, if you were, oh no, there's no affiliation required. If you were an old Ind member, you get an instant in, even if you suck.
And what about? Is there any signing bonus for people that used to be an Ind? For example, Ind Dangerous Dave, for example.
Oh no, people who have left the clan, they're not allowed back in. It's a permanent exit. We take these things seriously.
That's true, especially if they join, EL.
And make the other team win. Yeah, it's not allowed.
The Manchester City of Rome. Sign Dave for exorbitant money. I'm sure Dave's getting paid a lot of money over at EL there. So.
Oh yeah, man. Maybe it needs to up their game with some serious sponsors.
Man, did you see Dave just replied to you in the chat? I'm not sure if you've seen that yet.
Oh yeah. Well, we're not taking you back in. Get out of here, man.
Man, Dave's already been replaced in Ind. I mean, Octave joined
Oh
Ind,
yeah,
so.
Octave is a replacement, and Octave is doing way better than you ever did. So, get out of here, man.
Man, this game has kind of somehow stabilized. I actually had no idea how the hell it stabilized to this point, because it felt like all chaos was going down. Did the world guys have a chance to take out Madrid and hold it? Because I felt like if they just pushed for it, It seemed
Yeah,
like
they could have taken out Madrid long back because Sims is literally on his last foot. I don't think he's going to be medieval age anytime soon. And they're all just counting on Dave right now to kill his side while while surviving Surge. So it's like Surge versus two on this side versus Dave versus two on the other. But Dave has got a massive economy compared to Surge, who is well not doing as well.
yeah. I mean, Surge. I mean, it's kind of like Surge and Sims have both kneecapped each other, and now they both can't really walk properly, but they're still going at it. And Surge has got a better economy than Sims does, but it looks like he's going to need help from Boo to prop him up for at least the next little while, for the time being. And I mean, what's White going to do at the same time? Where's White's army?
Yeah, where is White's army? That's what I've been looking for. White has no army.
Yeah, that could be an issue. I mean, White's economy is pretty good, but he's got no miners for his metal. And I feel like when he did that militia pull earlier in the game, he forgot to replace his metal, and he's got no metal income coming in.
Oh yeah, and I guess these guys want to double, but King, yeah, King is not doing very well here. I think it's looking very bad because Surge is the one playing two here by himself, but he does not have as good an eco as Dave has.
Yeah,
I mean, Dave is all set. Dave is all set for a long game, and Dave is and Surge here is while he has kneecap, as you see, kneecap Sim, but well, it's going to be hard to decide. I think they lost a very good moment right there when they could have just kept Madrid.
Oh man, nice double here on Dave's army. I mean, look at Dave's economy. It's absolutely crazy. He's got like economy numbers that you wouldn't expect to see for the 35-minute mark, and we're only about 23 minutes in. But,
For sure.
But Dave's got a lot of units here, and I think even with this double from both, Coldfire and from King, it's probably not going to be enough. There's just way too many units here from Blue. He might have to pull back though.
Oh yeah, he might have. But then also keeping in mind that King actually used his militia for that attack, so he lost a lot of eco, and same for Coldfire. So it tells you about Dave has such a big army that not just Coldfire and King doubled him, they doubled him with all their militia.
And it was just enough to take it to force him to turn around. That's scary.
And Dave did not lose much. I mean, he still has his army, he still has his eco, so he's just going to come back with a similar army size again.
Yeah, you can see that. I mean, I guess we forgot, but Sims did go despot in this game. So this whole game, he couldn't have got an economy more than 100 anyway. And maybe that's the advantage of going despot. It feels like if your economy is bad, it's still not a bad economy for despot because you can't get a big economy anyway. And he's got a lot of troops sitting in that city. So I feel like Surge, if Boo wasn't here, he might be able to slowly take Madrid, but he's already moved his capital, and he's got a castle, a tower, and the backup of an Irishman behind him too. So
it's going to be a long battle here. I don't think Surge is taking Madrid anytime soon.
No, I don't think so. And this is really looking quite dire here because the fact is, Surge's economy was hurt quite badly. He's got it back up and running now. He's got lots of merchants out, which is good. But I mean, how about Green and White? I mean, they both lost so many militia just before. Still building citizens back, but that's going to cost a lot of food and take a lot of time to get back up and running. And the same thing for White. I mean, I'm not sure if King's having his best game, but he is trying to put pressure on Boo on the left-hand side here, but it's going to be a much smaller army than what Boo has, and it's really just distracting him.
And it's I mean, if I saw an army like that attacking my city, I don't think I will be too worried. I'll just putting a tower behind it, like how Boo is doing. I think that should suffice, and maybe some militia. So again, King being the Iroquois player, I would expect him to be spamming huge armies, but that's not what we have seen in this game.
Yeah, exactly. And it looks like Dave is taking a nice, stable, and patient approach here. He might get doubled again by the looks of it by both white and green, and let's see if he can take on another 2v1.
Oh yeah, I feel like he's all set up. He'll be Gunpowder Age very soon. He's got silver, and on this side, Coldfire. Well, Coldfire also looks like he'll be Gunpowder, but nowhere as fast as Dave. And looks like, yeah, he said he is going to get doubled, and again Militia pool from King. I would say this Militia is doing a lot of damage to King. It just hindering his growth completely.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you know that you're in trouble when you're having to double someone's single army with all of your militia that you can get from nearby. And yeah, they've had to do that twice now. And I mean, they have gotten back to work, but I feel like the one hidden cost every time you pull militia is that the militia just don't miraculously go back to where they were before. You've got to almost manually tell them, hey, farm this, farm that, get back to your wood chopper camp. Because yeah, just turning them back into citizens doesn't just solve all your problems. It's a bit of manual micro that you need to do.
Oh man, this. You know what? If you had asked me 10 minutes back, I was almost sure that the HBI team won this, but it looks like they have lost the edge. Dave is booming really well on this side. It looks very tough for HBI now, unless of course white and green together can beat Dave, which I would say it's a reasonable thing to ask for. There is not much hope.
Yeah, I mean, Dave does have, it looks like, the armor upgrade as well, which puts him a step ahead of Green right now. Green has the ability to, but just hasn't clicked.
Oh yeah, he hasn't clicked, and Green. I don't know what's Green doing there. He left that army there for a long time. He wasn't concentrating or something. He let his units die before he moved that army. That was strange.
Yeah, not ideal. Oh, and a big double push here by purple and yellow, taking on Surge's army. He's getting doubled himself, and it looks like Boo's got a decent sized army now as well. That's definitely going to be enough units to take on Surge's here, and Surge is just running for the hills, but unfortunately in that river, those elephants are so slow, it's like walking in molasses right now.
Oh yeah, they are, and this is the perfect time when Sims will be proud of getting the spot, because while Boo's army is burning with attrition, here is Sims all good.
Yeah.
And I even think that the Royal Scutaris, the special unit from Spanish, might be good against elephants. I really want to try this out.
Yeah, it does say in the tooltip, it says extremely effective against mounted troops. And I mean, could you argue an elephant is a mounted troop? I mean, they're mounting the elephant, right? So
Yeah, definitely.
look at it.
Definitely, yeah.
So yeah, we'll have to test that out one day though. Oh, it looks like.
Are you looking at that big the elephant corpse that's floating in the territory? I mean, in the river.
Is that the?
Oh no, it disappeared for a stream, but it's still there for me, man. That's a very quick degradation rate. Like, it just died and suddenly there's no flesh left on it. It's just all bones.
Oh no.
Unless the Persian army is feeding on the dead, that's not there's no other explanation.
Yeah, I just wonder if this map gets recycled every time in Rise of Nations, and underneath the ground is just the skeletons of all the elephants that have died.
Oh man, that'll be interesting. Like after a million matches, there turns out to be a lot of oil wells on this map.
And then like you've got like Exxon Mobil comes in and starts setting up oil derricks. And,
oh yeah, and then like Amazon is the new Saudi Arabia then.
Oh my god! I mean, you got King here. He comes from Saudi Arabia, so he might have the expertise to make the most of these oil derricks. So it does look like, basically it looks like Dave's playing it safe here, because he basically knows that if he pushes too far in, he's going to get doubled by 2 armies and 2 sets of militia. They've done that twice to him before, and he needs to think, what can I build to counter militia? Is there anything that can counter militia? Maybe he needs to spam some horse archers here, because I feel like he knows he's going to get pushed with militia again if he tries to push here.
Oh yeah, and Coldfire is aging as well, so that's good. But Dave has the power of Colossus.
Yeah, the power of Colossus is a very, very strong one, and there's not a lot that counters Colossus except, I guess, just doubling or a much, much bigger army, which is pretty hard to do.
Oh yeah, and I feel kind of sad for King in this game. He has always been like out of position, always with not as much army as you would expect. Uh, and yeah, I mean, what you would expect from an Iroquois player to be massing a army, that's not what he has been able to do in this game. And it's funny that Coldfire still has not deleted his Senate. I mean, after all that sieging that has been going on since the last 10 or 15 minutes, the Senate is still there.
Yeah, I mean, I think Coldfire is just being a bit stubborn with the way he's choosing to do this because, I mean, effectively, he could have moved his capital a long time ago, but I guess as Koreans, he's probably quite confident that he can hold the city regardless of what happens.
Oh yeah, and just look at what's happening here. Again, caught out of position.
Yeah.
Not in sync. Green and white should have attacked at the same time. And I guess in Gunpowder Age, these militia just become a free fodder for this army. There is no way these militia can do any damage. They die in 2 hits. So I would say it's better to not have militia. Just save them for your economy.
Oh, exactly. I mean, I was only joking before about the militia, the counter to militia, because the counter to militia is anything in Gunpowder Age, just destroys them in a few hits. And yeah, you might as well, unless you're absolutely desperate, like they are right now, I guess. There's not a lot of point in sacrificing your economy.
Oh yeah, definitely. And everybody except Sims is going to be age 4 very soon. So it all comes down to, and Dave has been doing a 2 versus 1 for such a long time, and he still has a bigger army and he's still owning it. I mean, I have to give it to him. What a nice boom over there.
Yeah, that's always nice when you see the top left of the screen and you can see all your economy flashing yellow, and you've got a Colossus and a Forbidden City as well.
And here, look at that. Dave's not even using his 5th city that he stole from this Korean player. He's not even using that to mass scholars, and he has Colossus. He can definitely mass scholars right there if he wanted to.
Yeah, exactly. He might as well, if he's booming this hard, he might as well boom even harder and try and get some more Colossus going. Oh,
Yeah,
sorry,
that's
more
right.
scholars.
That's right.
Oh, GG gets thrown out by Coldfire.
That is GG. I bet Serge has the same feeling that he had in the last Forwali grand finale. I think it's time for him to set up another team. I don't think he was very satisfied with this outcome. This is the exact replica of the grand finale.
Oh man, this is pretty much the exact replica. I mean, every single game went down in the same order. It was win-win for EL, win for Four Valley / World King, and then 2 wins again by EL. I think that's the way EL like to do it. They like to, slack off in the 3rd game and let the opponents kind of come back into it, and then go for the kill in the 4th and 5th. So look, really nice series overall. Honestly, that was quite a few really exciting moments. Where would you give your official Puma-sponsored moment of the match in this game number 5?
So the Puma sponsored game moment of the game number 5 would be that time when I would say they tripled Sims in the right moment and they got the cap sack. And I feel just one villager from Coldfire repairing that city could have made all the difference in the world.
Oh, exactly. I mean, that would have been huge, but that was a great move. I feel like, I don't know, maybe they did try everything they could have, but if they'd just somehow concentrated their forces on taking that city, that was awesome when it got to age 3 and suddenly the small city went to big, and you just think, oh geez, are they going to actually win this particular match? But
Oh yeah, so I guess now it's time for us to be organizing games against EL. See if any clan can take on EL, the mighty EL, and take them down.
yeah, absolutely. Hey, I've got to run here, Jatin. Sorry. I just
Mhm.
realised that yeah, this has been awesome casting these games, but I've just got something to do here at the house. And yeah, it's probably a good time to wrap it up anyway because it's been fun casting these games, and good timing too because we just found out that EL are undefeated. They've beaten World 3, World 4,
Mhm.
and so yeah, we'll have to figure out another team to come up against them. But they're king of the hill. They remain the champions, and we'll see what happens next time.
All right then, and yeah, thanks for everybody who's watching this. It was great casting, and thanks to Kron as well. Uh, I'm going to send this video right to Puma in hopes for sponsorship.
Yeah, hopefully Puma will sponsor us. And hey, do you want to start your stream, Jatin? I can raid your stream, and if you guys want to keep watching, I'm sure if you want, I can make sure the viewers transfer across. But
Actually, I'll have to leave as well. So yeah, I wish I could continue casting, but yeah, I have to run as well. So let's keep it there,
yeah,
and
no problem.
I'll see you tomorrow.
Sounds good. All right, thanks for tuning in, guys. It's been a pleasure, and we'll talk to you next time.
Thanks, guys.